I'm used to waiting. Are you? Would you be waiting there too? I'm used to staying. Would you? Would you be waiting? Dopamine when you send pictures. When you send pictures. Can't be waiting. Can't be waiting. Dopamine when you send pictures. When you send pictures. Would you be waiting?
Hello, and welcome to Oktofest 2025 Qualifier. My name is Nell, and I am joined with the lovely and darling Sasu. Sasu, how are you doing today?
Doing okay. For me, funny enough, I am in North America. I believe we both are.
Yep.
So it's still just very early in the day. Lots of stuff happening, but ultimately, this Oktofest, I think, is here to brighten my day. So I'm really excited.
Yep, and if you don't know much about what's going on here, Oktofest is a Germany LAN event, and it is a major. So we are having a qualifier here on Sendo Inc. And it is, I believe this is the first ever Oktofest. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to turn out. We have a really stacked bracket here today. There are a few prizes in the tournament to incentivize people to join and have some competition. So, I mean, First place of this qualifier tournament will get a 50% discount off of a Oktofest 4v4 LAN ticket, and a random checked-in team will get a 25% discount off of a ticket. So, I mean, what's not to like about this qualifier event that we have in store today?
I love those prizes. As some of you have probably heard, like across the pond, we had Riptide in North America, and quite frankly, I would have loved to be able to get an opportunity like that. So really excited for all of these teams, and excited to see who comes out on top and snatches that discount.
For sure. I mean, at this time, we really need all of the discounts that we can get. So I believe that we are going to be first, going to be getting right into it. We're going to be seeing, well, actually, I don't really know who we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing some teams today. Maybe they're going to be playing Splatoon.
Yeah, but, you know, you never know these days.
Never mind. Thank you. Thank you to, I'm getting word that we have the teams that we are going to be playing today. We're going to be watching Sonata versus the Night Logic. And I know about Sonata. I don't really know much about Night Logic.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've definitely heard Sonata's name around for sure. So I think that this is like an established team who has a really good chance at putting points on the board and possibly aiming really high. The Night Logic, of course, I'm not as familiar with, but one thing I can say is that is a full roster. Like 6 people, and you know what? That's the pro strat, because the more people on the roster, the more discount for all of these people. So I guess put them on the list.
I like to say that some of these teams have like a football team. They're like a football team. Like they have enough people to, you know, cover any bases that you may need. Assuming that everybody is on this roster in order to cover each other's bases. I don't know. Some people have big rosters just for time constraints, but I really like to imagine that everybody has like a specialty and you're like, all right, who are we putting in?
Yeah, Sonata's gonna have to like keep pausing because the Night Logic is like, wait. Like, they just change rosters literally every single map mode. They're like, we have a roster for every map mode, so can you switch this person? Can you? And it's just gonna, you know, if it takes us a while to get through the set, you'll know why.
That's the football team.
The American football team, I guess.
American football, that's true. I'm sorry,
Yeah, when you're from America, it's just football.
Yeah, I mean, same with soccer teams, as they call across the pond. They have large rosters as well. But, I mean, first map mode we are going to be getting into is the usual zones on Hagglefish, so.
You know, interestingly enough, I was just having a chat with some of my Splatoon friends the other day, and there was a lot of ire for Hagglefish zones.
Really?
I just assumed, that everyone, you know, I like to call it the great equalizer because I feel like everyone has a game plan for Hagglefish zones in their back pocket. They know what they're going to run. I think it's got the flanks. It's a pretty straightforward map. So I was really surprised that some people have no love in their heart for this map mode. So hopefully that's not the case for the Night Logic or Sonata.
I mean, it's pretty much the bread and butter map mode of Splatoon 3. You can also make the argument that Mako Mart is in that same boat where it's like the bread and butter of Splatoon 2 is now the bread and butter of Splatoon 3 as well. But I mean, like you said, everybody has a plan for Zone Hagglefish because it's just played in every single tournament. It's a classic map, and I frankly love it, but that's because I play backlines, so...
We are actually both heavy edit players here on the mics. Like, that's both of our mains and our roles. So don't be surprised if you hear the same complaints about the same maps from both of us. You're literally like, wait a second, I want more crab leg love on the mic. And it's like, I don't think you're gonna necessarily... Do you like crab leg?
No, I don't. I have crab leg.
As do I. That's why I'm like, if you're in the audience and you're like, that's so weird, why do both of the casters just hate crab leg? It is because we play the same weapon and we will beef probably with the same places roughly. But
I don't know, like, Pencil. I'm not the biggest fan of Pencil, but we are going to see it in this qualifier, I'm assuming. So we just have to cope. I mean, wait, okay, I haven't been up to date with like the recent patch and stuff. Did Vac get a buff, and is Vac viable now?
You know, it depends on who you ask. I think that anytime something gets like a healthy buff, you're gonna see especially some top level interest. And I think top level interest like kind of trickles down to the rest of the community. So definitely you're having, I know that Chara just tweeted that Nolan will be forced onto VAC 96 or something. So I think there's definitely interest in it, but we'll see if that's actually going to come to fruition. Much like the Brella buffs, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I know some people who cook really hard on Brella. Shout out to JJ.
As do I. Shout out to JJ.
We see you, we hear you, you're valid, and you know, you're finally getting the love from the devs who are buffing Brella. But I mean, I'm not really sure. I'm going into this blind to see if maybe we will see a VAC. Maybe VAC is in its heyday now. I don't know.
Honestly, I'm excited to see it, especially because there's been such a... I feel like the Western scene, including, of course, Europe, has been really against VAC for a long time, but we've seen VAC in the Japanese scene. And while the West usually just kind of picks up roughly what JP is doing when things become... do really well in Area Cup or, you know, King's Cup or something major in Japan, we start to incorporate it more in the West as well. And VAC is the one exception to that, where we've seen VAC in Japan, but we're super reluctant to pick it up in the West. And now that it's gotten a buff, I'm curious to see if we're finally going to get on that train, or if it's going to be kind of a false start where people are like, oh, it's good, and then they just kind of abandon it.
I hope so. I mean, I used to play on a team with VAC, but I'm low level, so it doesn't really matter. But it was fun to play around. I feel like if you actually start to challenge your mindset of how the game should be played, you're more open. You're more open to trying new things, trying new metas, trying new weapons that have this special that could be an asset to your team. I mean, it's basically, as long as a Splatana is not like hurtling towards you, it's basically invulnerability if you're in the little radius. I was about to say stuck radius, and I'm like, okay, let's not do that.
The radius, indeed.
The radius of the vacuum area of effect.
Exactly.
You're pretty much invulnerable for a little bit, and that'll cause you to get some good distance if no one challenges it. So,
I think I'm a little bit torn on it. Much like, you know, we've seen more leader play at top levels. So as I think that when you pick up Heavy Edit, you have to sign your name saying, "I will hate pencil." We definitely have perhaps little love in our hearts for pencil, but so when you see leader, you're like, oh great, that's more diversity in backlines.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but do I really want to be more leader? Like, it's like a very like monkey's paw like type of thing, and I feel similarly about VAC, but that is enough of that. We are heading straight into it. Let's take a look at these loadouts now.
We're seeing a Heavy Edit. I think the game is saved. All right, we can end the stream right now. I'm just kidding. We are seeing two not Splatanas, excuse me, like Stampers? What is that class called? Splatanas? I'm a commentator. Two Splatanas on the side of Sonata, and Night Logic does have more of a short-range comp under their belt, which will allow them to have a little bit more aggression. So as we're fighting over zone, I'm curious to see if we're going to see that aggression quite soon.
Yeah, but like not only do they have that aggression, but of note is that they have the Dread Ringer that you're seeing right now. Wow, and Azalea just barely gets out of there. Oh, but unfortunately I think does come down to the Swiper. So finally, the Night Logic has a really steady hold on the zone. You see Chipu getting that pick, which is going to be huge. And right now, I think everyone's gone a little bit back into mid, but so far the Night Logic is doing a really good job of keeping zone.
For sure. I mean, really scrappy back and forth plays so far. I will say Sonata is unfortunately getting pushed back all into their base, just at their front door, knocking it down. The Dread Ringer from the side of Night Logic is hungry for another Reef Slider, not able to get anything out though. However, two do go down from Night Logic, which allows Sonata to be able to creep back into mid, possibly for another flip if we're going to be staying alive. Beautiful flick from Azalea, granting them the flip and a hefty penalty for Night Logic.
Absolutely, but that was a fantastic push all the way down to 18. Has them in a pretty good space. But of course, Sonata, now that they have the zone, at least for now, and they keep it despite that Reef Slider coming out, we have a bit of neutral here. Chipu trying to get it back on their side. And I was gonna say that Sonata had a really good position there because, of course, they barely had any penalty points. But now that the Night Logic has been able to get this back, I think they're in a difficult space because retake can be quite difficult on a place like here.
I completely agree. And if their if the pushes from Night Logic are anything like the push that we saw earlier, then I anticipate Sonata to be able to be backed in a corner again. I mean, Sonata, they kind of collapsed back towards each other and it allowed the snowball effect, but now they are punishing Night Logic for the exact same thing. We do see the Reef Slider coming out, able to flip not really flip the zone just yet, just a touch away from flipping the zone. Sun is still alive, unable to make anything happen, but we are seeing Riddler here with the stamp. Everything is just being thrown at the zone right now, and Night Logic is still in charge, eating away at their penalty, and Sonata is back again on the back foot, kind of collapsing in on themselves in order to back up and grant Night Logic the space they're asking for.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that bloodbath in mid, dude going completely down to the blade here. Azalea just taking the space contested. That's absolutely fantastic from Sonata. It seems as though they are absolutely unafraid. A double out of Riddler, and right now Sonata has that zone, and they're just about almost done through their penalty points. So if they're able to play their cards well, which it seems as though they are, there were 3 down there, they might be able to just make a clear run here, especially because Sonata had really weak retake in terms of their specials, but in terms of keeping the zone, putting missiles when they're able to get them in that spawn, I think they might be able to switch lead here.
They may be able to. We do see a stamp on the side of Chipu, but 3 go down from Night Logic, and that may be all she wrote if they're not able to flip the zone right now. Unfortunately, with the people down from Night Logic, they aren't able to, which allows Sonata to kind of chew through that penalty, and they are able to get the lead. 7 ticks left on the timer, and this may be all she wrote for game 1. It is going to Sonata, but I mean, Night Logic, they put up such a strong fight. I just feel like Sonata, they were playing quite safe towards the end of their penalty, and they were like, okay, we really just want to ensure that we're able to guarantee this lead, and that's exactly what they did.
Absolutely, completely agree. Despite the fact that the Night Logic, I would argue, had a really dominant hole for a lot of that, I think that they did a really good job, Sonata that is, of just waiting, seeing if they could get the picks. And like I mentioned before, Azalea, absolutely, with that decap, getting into mid, uncontested, just walking up, setting up that bubble, taking mid. I think that was instrumental in Sonata's success.
For sure. You can tell that they were so happy to get that play off, and it really was a game changer play. I think that if Splatoon had play of the game kind of like Overwatch did, then that may have been the play of the game to guarantee that win. But I believe we're going to be going over to our next map mode. Let me pick it up really quick here. I saw a glimpse of Inkblot Tower. I saw a glimpse. And as we are getting into it, it is Tower Inkblot, which is another classic map. I like to call this the counter pick map. So it's the map that everybody is just like, yeah, we can counter pick to that. It's fine. So that's where we're going next. I am curious to see if Sonata had the bubble. They had the blockade. They were kind of like an immovable object versus the unstoppable force that was Night Logic. So I'm curious to see if anything's going to change with that, if Night Logic is going to continue with their very volatile comp as we get into tower control.
Well, Night Logic, I know that they were running a blaster, which of course, always very strong, especially the splashdown custom blaster. Super good on a tower map, especially this one when they're contesting, let's say, that second check that's at that bottom left by ramp. Splashdown can do such crazy damage there, but we're going to take a look at these loadouts if there's any changes. Surprisingly, I thought they might switch off of the double sword. Not going to happen. Instead, we have a switch to that sticker stamper, which of course is going to give them that GG Booyah.
I completely agree. And we are seeing another change. I believe that we're seeing the custom blaster on the side of Night Logic, as well as a junior now for the bubble and the extra paint. We're seeing Duditude on the right side get a pick off of Sonata, off of Azalea from Sonata, excuse me. 2 down on both sides. Just scrappy plays both sides. But we are going to aggress a little bit from the side of Night Logic into Sonata's area to kind of guarantee that first checkpoint. We are eating towards it. Chip with a beautiful snipe of the stamp, and we are going down, but it's just scrappy fight after scrappy fight in the first 40 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see Azalea bringing the fight to the tower there, and I think that's going to be super important because the Night Logic, despite the fact that they just kind of keep jumping in and trying to make these, what you see an absolutely stellar splashdown. Very rare that you see someone jump in with that splashdown. Most people don't fall for it, but they did, and they got 2 people down from Duditude.
That was the most satisfying splashdown I've seen in a long time, mostly because I just saw the wind-up from Sonata. I saw 2 stampers that were just staring at this jump, and then boom, suddenly it's Splatoon 2, and we have a splashdown in our face jumping to us. The splashdown is providing a lot of good merit for Night Logic. However, we are going to be continuing that momentum here in bats, and suddenly the points are at 45. Azalea, not if they have anything to do with it. Azalea is going to fight for tower, and you do not want to fight a stamper on the tower because they are going to chew you up and spit you out, which is exactly what they're doing.
Listen, while the Night Logic was spending time in the bats, Azalea was learning the way of the blade. Because you see everyone just falling down, even being able to just eke past those shots that we saw from the junior before finally going down. So now things are a little bit more neutral as the tower goes back into mid. A very wise jump out from Earth there, but once again, I'm starting to think now that the win condition for Night Logic may just be keeping Azalea down.
For sure. I will say like that aggression from their comp, that they have a really good ability of cycling their specials. We don't really see any on the board right now for Night Logic, but Sonata does have 2 specials available. Unfortunately, 2 of the special havers go down from Duditude, and that is almost a delayed wipe, but we do have Tacticooler on the board, so they won't be punished too heavily for those specials. And now we are going to be seeing a Sonata on the back foot again. We're really going to be needing to see that momentum that they had in the first game. When they were in charge for a little bit. Night Logic 3 goes down, 4 goes down, and that's a wipeout, and that is allowing Sonata that momentum that we talked about.
Yeah, and that is huge because they certainly need this push. We are approaching 2 minutes left in this game, and so far, they've essentially failed to get out of mid in terms of their push. You have Azalea setting up that bubble on the ramp, allowing more of their teammates to come in if they so choose. A tactical jump out, very wise, especially because the rest of their teammates seem to be in mid, and I think that the Night Logic doing a really good job of just winning their 1v1s and managing the space. Duditude on this blaster is just chipping away and making it so that I think members of Sonata just don't feel safe going in there, unless, of course, you are Azalea. So that jump out happens, and I think that the Night Logic really quickly able to get Sonata under control and stop their push.
2 do go down from the Night Logic, and those were the 2 aggressive individuals on the side of that team. So we are seeing them get back into it. I believe they were coolered up. They don't have much of a penalty in getting back into mid here. I mean, at this point, if you're Night Logic, you just want to kind of chew through time. You just want to waste the time of Sonata so that, I mean, once we get to the 1 minute mark, they won't have a lot of time to play with in order to get back into it. We are seeing a splashdown again, but it is going to be canceled out by the bubble from Azalea. Azalea does go down. Seeing Jason back on the tower, just kind of keeping it in a neutral place in mid, and that pencil is not where they want to be right now. You can tell because they just jumped out. It just seems like Sonata is kind of scrambled right now. I mean, we're playing the game on the Night Logic's time right now.
Absolutely. I think that Sonata is in a case of damage control, especially because this bubble is on the tower. That makes it harder. But Azalea said, I'm going to ignore that, get that pick. Probably going to go down here to this hammer. And that is 3 members down from Sonata. Of course, they do have this booyah out of the sticker stamper, which is going to be huge for them. They might be able to retake the tower. But we only have 20 seconds left, and the Night Logic is still putting points on the board. They are grouped up on this tower, I think, trying to see if they can get the knockout, especially with 2 members down on Sonata. And 9, it's not looking great, especially with that bubble. So they might be able to get this knockout there at the last second, and they do it. I think simultaneously, time is called and they've gotten the knockout. So that is going to be an extremely dominant win for the Night Logic.
That was such a strong showing from Night Logic. I feel like Sonata just didn't really have an opportunity to even get on their feet. At every single moment, somebody was there spying the gaps in their formation and taking advantage of that, as we could see with, I mean, if somebody was pushed up a little bit too far, they were punished for it. I mean, at the same time, I feel like Azalea is really the only aggression that I'm seeing from Sonata. I'm not really seeing a lot of forward aggression, and I guess that's because of the comp that they have. They do have the Frozen Pro, and they do have another sticker stamper, so maybe we should see them fight a little bit more on the same page. I mean, the Night Logic, they have such forward aggression that it's very hard to combat that unless you have aggression back at them.
Yeah, and also, I mean, other than Edit, I am also a Forge enthusiast, and I will always push for people. I think here, you know, missiles aren't bad, but I'm always going to push on tower for people to go Forge. I think it's really good to have that suction bomb and that booyah bomb, and so I think that Frozen maybe not as effective as it possibly could be kit-wise on a place like Tower Control Inkblot. But of course, we will be transitioning in to Clam Blitz Museum, which is a whole nother ball game as it pertains to gameplay.
Clam's Museum, my beloved, my beloved. It really depends on the day. Depends on the day I'm having. It depends on the day that museum is having as well.
You have to respect the map.
You know, it's kind of like if she's having a day, I'm also having a day. You know? So, I mean, I really think that Sonata, if they're able to get their foot in the door, they're going to be an unstoppable force. But the Night Logic, they are so good at finding those gaps in the formation. They are so good at just sneaking picks. And once that little formation from Sonata is broken, it's very difficult for them to get back on their feet. So I want to see them have that momentum that they did in the first match. Maybe here at Museum, we'll be able to see that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see these comps. We have a switch back to that V stamp. Not many changes, surprisingly. They do keep that junior for the bubble, no doubt to probably set one up under basket and allow their team to get the jumps. But yes, we just have Riddler changing back, and the Frozen Pro is still out. So not many changes in the comps, but of course, map mode completely different. So we're gonna see how that works out for them.
It seems like Night Logic isn't really taking an aggressive stance. They're taking actually kind of a we're being obliterated stance actually as we're getting into a wipeout here. Sonata is not wasting any time at breaking the barrier, and look at their clam economy. Sasu, look at their clams. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, you see Night Logic coming in with, you know, the equalizing. They're saying eat the rich, and they did just that, making sure to end them going up there. So right now, they were able to get down to 60, which is the magic number, of course, you want to hit in a clams game, so you're not just giving them a power clam absolutely for free. But you can see the Night Logic is really doing a good job of just squatting up here, ready to move as a team. And I think with one of them going down, we're going to see if they can still make it to the basket, and they do it. So now we'll see if they're able to get below that and take the lead.
There are two specials on the board for Sonata, and Sonata is not going to use them just yet because there was a wipeout from the Night Logic. I do believe that Sonata is back in their groove. They're able to push forward. The pencil is in a very advantageous spot here in mid, able to get a pick off of the blaster from Night Logic, and that's 3 down from Night Logic. They are just scrambling around, and that's another wipeout in favor of Sonata. We are going to be able to keep the basket open and shred those points down all the way to 30, and 1 is down from Sonata. That is the pencil, and we are seeing another one down, so it's not over yet. But the Forge Pro is going to have to back up and just be a little bit safe just to ensure that they don't all wipe here. But that push was fantastic from the side of Sonata, and now the Night Logic, I mean, we're all looking at you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. All the way down to 27, but it's not over yet. We're just under 3 minutes, which is plenty of time. And I think I neglected to mention the fact that, you know, you really feel the difference between pencil and heavy edit on a map mode like this, because of course that pencil can just sit on that spinner, or you see right here at the top left, there is that high ground that you have where you can just chip away at everyone jumping in. So no Night Logic going down to 45, but Azalea on this bottom right, if they're able to set up their pencil to take that spinner, it is just going to be so difficult for the Night Logic to really deal with that when they just don't have the range.
But the splat bomb to the shield of the bubble punishes that. But with the Tacticooler at the ready, we aren't punished too hard for that mistake. Sonata is still in charge of mid here. We are still sitting comfortably. However, Night Logic has shown that they have the ability to get some more points on the board and chew through that penalty. So I wouldn't sit on my laurels just yet. We do have 2 down from the side of Night Logic. Specials are ready from the side of Sonata, and it looks like we're preparing for another push. We do have 2 power clans at the ready, but unfortunately 2 do go down. It is the commentator's curse of Splatoon here. Sonata is going to try and get a power clam into the basket just to chew through that penalty. The bubble is up, allowing a jump point. Somehow we're able to get the power clam into the basket, and we are going to chew through this penalty. We just need 1 or 2 more clams to be able to guarantee this win, and the win does go to Sonata 2-1.
Wow, what a game. We saw multiple wipes now from both sides. It's not even like just one team was constantly being wiped. What a back and forth. And to the last moment, I think that bubble, we were talking about Sonata's lack of aggression, but ultimately I think it was having that bubble, having more passive specials that helped them to get the win there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, that Sonata was such a different Sonata than we saw on the previous match, and I really love to see that they had this flow. They had this flow, and they were just capitalizing off of these advantages so much. It was fantastic to watch. And I mean, like you said, as much as I love heavy edit, I do have to give credit where credit is due. On some maps, you just can't play it. On some maps, I must say, I fear that the pencil is better.
Better,
not better, but
yeah,
you're essentially choosing to take an uphill battle if you choose head-it, and I constantly choose that uphill battle all the time. But it's difficult. It's incredibly difficult, especially if you're on the side of a pencil in your face and you just can't move. So I can see.
Absolutely difficult. Heavy edit is good on this map, but pen is better. It's got that reach. It can just sit places and keep that space, and it's super difficult. And I think, unfortunately, the Night Logic maybe found that out the hard way. So they are going to take this set, that being Sonata 2-1. And yeah, I think we're going to go to perhaps a short break, and we'll be right back with you with more Splatoon.
the ticking in my ears. No, is it near the end? Fade out till I disappear. No, 'cause look the other way, you meet you face to face. Words they float away when I'm losing the race. 'Cause I can't play this game. 'Cause I'm still afraid the things you say, hiding numbers to my days. What if you doubt yourself? Things will never be the same.
Yeah, I, yeah, that, that, but yeah, yeah, I, yeah, yeah, I, yeah, yeah, I, yeah,
Hello and welcome back to Oktofest. We're looking at Pali St. Bluefus. I don't know. Clearly I didn't like really take in the name beforehand because I feel like the Gloofus like jump scared me there. But we're getting right back into it.
Bro, it's a German land.
But Gloofus, Pali St. Gloofus, I don't know, kind of jump scared me a little bit there. But looking at both of these comps, Scrim in 1 hour is the other team. And interestingly enough, we have Glash on a nozzle nose.
Oh, I haven't seen Nozzle Nose in years. It may have been since Splatoon 1 even, but I am so excited to see it because I really do love that weapon. And we are seeing a Bamboo. Honestly, these two teams are very fun to watch already just because of the weapon variety. And we are seeing a pick from the Bamboo on the side of Scrim in 1 hour. They do have the Killer Whale ready to go in their pocket, but they are waiting. We're going right into it. We are popping the whale. We're 3 down. Parrot is jumping out, and we're Scrim in 1 hour is taking space.
Yeah, a lot going on here. I think a lot of it has to do with the unique weapon choices. I feel like things are generally pretty meta, but I think these days you're seeing a Zap probably supporting an E-leader, but instead you have that Zap supporting the fact that they do not have a pencil. Instead, they have a Bamboo. That is the Bamboo that had the whales that had several people go down before there. And you see Scrim on 1 hour, the team with the Bamboo in question, just setting themselves up to see if they can just spawn camp Pali St. Bluefus. So especially with this aggressive crab, this is going to be super difficult because that is just a lot of special and a lot of fight.
For sure. PSG is on the back foot right now. However, we do have 2 specials on the board for them. A bubble is going to go out. Unfortunately, the user of the bubble is going to go down, and most of the map mode is blue. We're just going to need to try and paint as much as we can. 1 is down from Scrim in 1 hour, and so we are going to be... PSG is fighting tooth and nail for the zone, and we are going to get it, giving Scrim in 1 hour a hefty penalty. The Bamboo is going to punish 2 members of PSG, though, forcing the heavy edit. Well, they weren't able to jump out. There was a wipeout, and we are going to be getting into Scrim in 1 hour, eating through their penalty. 3 specials on the board. PSG is on the back foot right now.
Yeah, but you know, if you're gonna run Nozzle Nose, it's gotta be this new one because, of course, it does have Jet. And I think that pushing with a Jet, especially on a place like Mahi Mahi, is going to be super helpful. So if they're able to set themselves up, it might be for the best. You see the Jet does indeed come out. Their junior is down, so they may not have the support that they need, and they get nothing out of it, unfortunately. Those penalty points are almost done, and wow, last moment scene before a disaster, because you see that Nozzle Nose absolutely go down.
For sure. We are seeing another penalty on the side of Scrim in 1 hour. PSG is quite good at doing this last-ditch effort. We're going to throw everything at the zone just to flip it, but is it enough to be able to keep them in this match for longer than just overtime? We'll see. 1 is up from PSG. It is the junior just kind of frantically trying to paint for bubble here, but they can't really move out of their spawn area, unfortunately, because Scrim in 1 hour is already on the islands on the left side. Scrim in 1 hour, they don't have much time left for their penalty. We do see PSG really trying to push forward, trying to paint the zone as they have done previously, but there are 10 ticks on the board right now. We're going to really need a focus zone here soon, but unfortunately, it is just 1 left, and that is the game. Scrim in 1 hour does win the first match. However, it is a best of 5, so PSG is still in it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you at the end there. I think that PSG was in a really good position, but they just weren't focusing on zone. And if several people, instead of maybe getting those picks, had just put their resources in seeing what they can do there, I think they might have been able to stall it a little bit more because there were 2 minutes left, I think, or so, and they still have the time. So unfortunately, a little bit of a lack of allocation of resources there. But I think they definitely have it in them to turn it around. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It's a bit of a struggle with that comp as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I did like to see the Bamboo on the side of, who was it? It was Scrim in 1 hour. They were absolutely tearing it up. They were confident in their weapon, and I do believe that their comp really favors that weapon as well. I think when you choose in a weapon that is not really seen that much. You need to build the team around that weapon just to kind of support its weaknesses and really make sure that it flourishes. And I think that this team really knows how to make that work. I'm really happy to see all of the bubble. I feel like we've seen a ton of bubble this tournament so far that I don't really see frequently.
And speaking of bubble, we might be seeing that again. Of course, we're going to tower control Hagglefish, and people love a bubble on that tower. But PSG, I think one of the things they were struggling with is the fact that they didn't have much fighting power. I think they had like a Junior, a Splash, the Nozzle Nose, and an Edit. So I think that like, other than the Edit, a lot of those weapons not really well known for fighting all that well. And when you're up against this killer Bamboo, you're gonna find yourself in a difficult position if you're just not able to fight back, especially because Scrim in 1 hour, I think, had a Stamper, right? And that is the ultimate fighting weapon, if anything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do think if you have 3 or 4 support players, one of you has to be the aggressor. And I could see that the Junior was really attempting to be that aggressor, but I think they just needed a little bit more oomph. Maybe they needed that crab at their back from the Splash. It's just that coordination that we need. We're not going to be seeing any comp changes from the side of PSG, but as we are seeing the stickers stamper from the side of Scrim in 1 hour. So, I mean, we are going back to the Bamboo. This is probably a favorable map for it with how linear this map is. And now we are just, I mean, the Nozzlenose already has a special at the ready and we are jetting it up. So, I mean, who are we to snuff at that weapon at all? They got that special out quick.
Yeah, can't complain at the opening jet. That's definitely what you want to see, and especially because they have 3 people down, and now the crab is out. I think that is a fantastic opening already. We're breaking our way through that first check, but if you know about Hagglefish Tower, you know it's all about that second check, because that top right is a really great place to contest it, and you see exactly why Scrim in 1 hour does get that tower back.
I mean, you blink and you miss it. PSG is already at 50 points. But like you said, that second to last checkpoint, the first checkpoint is really the turning point for how the match is going to go. It is really important for PSG that they are able to get that checkpoint. And so we are going to be kind of stalling the tower a little bit back and forth just to keep it in the general vicinity of that top right area so that we can get through it. However, Scrim in 1 hour is putting up such a strong fight. We are seeing the Tacticooler out, and we are going to be pushing the tower a little bit to get some points on the board. The Bamboo is sitting nicely on the tower, special almost there, able to perfectly clear top right if we have the support from our teammates to be able to go up there and really clear it out. So we're seeing the jet come out from the side of PSG, that famous jet from the Nozzlenose, and we are fighting tooth and nail to get this tower pushing forward.
This is a really good jet map, so I think that they are going to be getting a lot of good work done. But you see a bit of a bloodbath on that tower, people just going back and forth. I think this crab getting no purchase there, gonna just immediately go down, especially up against an Edit that can just shred through it. And right now, I think PSG trying to stabilize, because you see Scrim in 1 hour almost really took that lead. There's only a 4-point differential, and that is very minimal, but I think that is the Bamboo going down on that side. So finally PSG in the position where they can make another go at the second checkpoint.
For sure. PSG is in a good spot right now, but I wouldn't feel too comfortable with that lead. As we can see, we are trying to continue with that lead, continue with that push. Sticker Stamper does have a special on the side of Scrim in 1 hour, and they are going to be using it for that Booyah Bomb, possibly as an entry tool to be able to get back in there. And we are seeing another one. We're going to be seeing a crab following up from the dualies. 2 on versus 1. We're collapsing on the right side of the map. Glash on the Nozzlenose, able to clear it out perfectly, and it just feels like these maybe aren't the best timed fights that we should be picking from the side of Scrim in 1 hour. It seems like PSG really knows how to value their time. They know that we really need to just keep this tower in neutral as long as possible. So that's exactly what they're doing. We just want to waste as much time as we can. So Scrim in 1 hour, they have touched the tower, but they aren't able to push it any further. And PSG is continuing to try and push it forward to guarantee that lead.
Yeah, 2 members jumping out, but 3 go down ultimately. So it seems as though PSG has been able to really just have this offensive power. And we saw the last time, it seemed as though they were just not really winning their fights. But like this time around, they're doing a fantastic job. And now we're working on the second checkpoint, and this is going to be huge because Hagglefish can be snowballing. And usually when you break past this checkpoint, it's kind of the point of no return for the other team. So Scrim in 1 hour is going to have to do a lot of work to reverse their fate here.
For sure, and time is running out, but time is running out, but also we have a lot of time to work with still. There is 1 minute on the clock, but Scrim in 1 hour with only 1 up. It just seems like PSG is knocking at their front door and banging it down at this point, trying to guarantee this win as fast as possible. 6 a.m. on the side of PSG, really just fighting from the back end, trying to keep paint up as much as possible. Kenshin on the bamboo on top right, trying to clear out, but unfortunately a bomb is going to take them out. Just seems like Scrim in 1 hour is in this scrambled state, not able to make anything happening in the 6 a.m. crab at their front door, knocking. They're like, I'm here now, okay, we're gonna win. But it just seems like someone was able to get off the tower, and now the tower is back in Scrim in 1 hour's favor, right under their nose. But with 20 seconds left, I really need to see a strong push from them.
You have to see the strong push from them because they're not going to get many other opportunities. I think this is the last push. They have to be practically flawless. And seeing as though they're lucky enough that no one on PSG really has a GG weapon, but with 3 of them down, that is just going to be it. You see a pick at the end there for style points. But yeah, I don't know what changed between both of these games because that just felt so dominant from PSG that they were practically spawn camping for a while there.
I mean, I really liked that they kept that forward momentum. I liked that. That's basically how you guarantee a win on Hagglefish. Unfortunately, you have to be up in their business, and it feels rude to do, but you have to do it in order to guarantee that win con, because the instant that the other team gets control of that top right area or their top left, it's pretty much over. That is a win condition spot for the team. So very strong showing from PSG. I loved all of those, the special cycling. I loved seeing everything, and they just seemed to be able to get pick after pick after pick. It was almost like Scrim in 1 hour was constantly in a state of a stagger. So, I mean, as we get into the next match, I mean, it's 1-1 right now, best of 5. It's anybody's game.
Absolutely. I think that part of PSG's success was the fact that it was just really strong teamwork. The fact that none of these weapons are really good at fighting, but as we saw, like, in the game, rather than just fighting and people just winning their 1v1s, everyone just had damage on them. People were chipped such that you can throw one burst bomb and that guy explodes because like they already had damage on them. So I think definitely a fantastic showing from PSG, making up for the weakness perhaps in their weapons by using the subs and playing off each other's chips rather. And we're gonna be heading into Clam Blitz Scorch Gorge, and once again the play style can just be so different, and I would argue this falls back a lot to fighting once again, but it's also momentum, so who knows who's gonna win this.
I mean, if we're looking back at the previous maps and their wins, which is quite a small data set to be able to examine, but if we're looking at that, then maybe it's in favor of Scrim in 1 hour, because, I mean, Scorch is pretty much just like a death bowl in the middle, and Mahi was also pretty much just a death bowl in the middle. I think that, you know, Scrim in 1 hour really is proficient in lockout scenarios, but they have to get that foot in the door in order to make that happen. So we are not seeing many changes on either side. We are seeing a new bucket. That is the bucket with the screen, the splatter color screen. Possibly another entry tool for PSG. So I'm excited to see how that's going to be getting into play.
Absolutely. Glash really picking these new weapons, putting a lot of excitement into the game, and especially anticipating this screen, because you talked about the Death Bowl, but I would argue a lot of the gameplay is all about the ramps. getting up those ramps and pushing up with the power clam can be so difficult because it's so easy to bomb it out and prevent people from pushing. So right now you see 6am getting a really fantastic pick there on the aforementioned ramp, waiting to see if they can get the clam economy they need to push. And ultimately, if they're able to screen that off and push with that, that can make all the difference.
For sure, and we did see PSG taking advantage of that chip that we talked about earlier. I feel like both of these teams are kind of chip comps in a way. They're like, we're going to throw everything that we can at you, that it sticks, with these burst bombs, with these regular bombs, with these curling bombs, with everything that we have. And we are seeing a crab out from the side of PSG in a defensive state. Unfortunately, it's not in an aggressive position. We are just going to try and clear out mid the best we can in order to make something happen. It's the classic Clamblitz scenario where it's like, you score first, you score first. And I mean, it does look in favor of Scrim in 1 hour. We do have a power clam from the Zap here. It's going to try and make something happen, try and push in. The whale is coming out from the bamboo, and it's looking good for PSG. Oh, wait, excuse me. It's looking good for Scrim in 1 hour to push forward, but right as I say that, PSG is suddenly in control with the screen, taking advantage of that space that it's giving.
Absolutely. I think that screen kind of saved the game for them a little bit there because it was on the ramp. It made it so that Scrim in 1 hour couldn't just essentially move forward and make that push. So right now we are still at a neutral state. 3 minutes remaining here, and I think that Scrim in 1 hour has a really good hold on mid. They're trying to push forward, but everyone's just getting chipped down, going down. No one feels as though they're really in a strong advantage state. But I think if Cookie is able to take these grates, if they're able to just walk and get their hand on the clan economy, which is not going to happen, you have a player going down. I don't know. It's just looking super even to me.
For sure. I mean, but suddenly 3 go down from Scrim in 1 hour, but PSG doesn't have a lot of clams. They aren't able to push in just yet. They are at the mercy of the clam spawns on the map, and currently Scrim in 1 hour is the one that has all of the clams. So they can't really, they can't push with this, unfortunately. It's like they were ready for the push, but the game state wasn't. And so it's quite unfortunate. And now that they have the clams at the ready, now it's kind of difficult for them to push through this ramp area that we talked about. And so 6am is trying to push forward, unable to make anything happen. It just seems like they were ready to push. The clams weren't ready for them to push. And now we're back to another neutral game. That is many such cases of clam blitz, unfortunately. It seems like this game is going to be possibly just down to one power clam and who's able to get it in first. And so we are seeing a Zipcaster from the side of Scrim in 1 hour trying to make something happen, but it's just a mess.
You know what, now I think that Clam Blitz is a game of management. You have to keep your eyes on a lot of things, and we saw, I think that Scrim in 1 hour seemed as though they were poised to make a really strong push, but the problem is no one really had their specials to push with. And I think that made it so that one by one they went down, and that just destroyed their push. And you see Glash in here kind of with the brush behavior, when a brush runs under basket and it's kind of like jump in. And here is the screen. That is going to be huge. And finally, with 1 minute left, the basket is open and PSG takes the lead.
Honestly, beautiful game state that PSG forced. I loved that. I love that they didn't really wait for an opportunity for Scrim in 1 hour to make a mistake. They forced it with that tri-slosher, kind of railing down the top left area that they knew people were at, and then putting out the screen. And now we're forcing this game state again with another power clam. We're really trying to guarantee the lead here. The ball is going to break the barrier, and there are a lot of clams from the side of PSG with the junior here. However, we don't have a bubble at the ready, which is going to really guarantee safety as we throw clams in, but it doesn't really matter. Scrim in 1 hour, 2 down, just the bamboo, just the stamper, and they're both on the wrong side of the map of the basket here, and suddenly we're down to 13 points with 10 seconds left.
But if they're able to get some sort of wipe, get down, a lot of the players, not going to happen, I think, in this disadvantage state. Delayed wipe at the end. So now that we're going into overtime, Glash babysitting their only hope here in that power clam. So it's going to be very unlikely. Oh, wow! A wipeout at the end here. And if they are able to book it, they might be able to keep themselves alive. They are running here. There goes the basket, and we have a chance!
We have a chance. There's 4 specials ready from Scrim in 1 hour, but one mistake can cost them the entire game. There's only 1 clam in the entire Scrim in 1 hour. We really need to toss it in here just to kind of postpone the timer a little bit, but unfortunately, the timer is dictating who wins and who doesn't, and we weren't able to get the clam economy under our belt, but very fantastic showing from Scrim in 1 hour as they really, really tried to make that overtime push happen. But I mean, it just feels like this game was dictated by the management, the economy, everything about that.
Yeah, I think that at the end they're very unfortunate that, you know, what a strong push, seeing as though they basically came from nothing. They were 3 down, there was 1 person down. I was basically calling it on the mic. And one thing about Scorch Gorge that I always say that didn't necessarily come into play here is that if you wipe the other team, the map is small enough that you getting wiped actually basically guarantees that your basket is open, because the other team can just rush your basket and get there, and we saw that at the end. But they basically had no clams because 3 of their members were down. The last one went down. It was a delayed wipe, and they went from being delayed wipe to getting like 40 points on the board. So what a strong ending there for Scrim in 1 hour, even though they didn't necessarily win the game.
For sure. I loved that game. That match was so fun. And it does seem like both of these teams are incredibly balanced against each other. So, I mean, we're in for a treat. And we are going into Rainmaker Humpback, everybody's most favorite map mode. If I called Scorch a Death Bowl, this is Death Bowl 2. The sequel.
Like an upside down bowl.
Yeah, this is the upside down bowl, the sequel. And I mean, I will say I do think that based on PSG's past in these games, they're really good at making these game states favorable to them. They have the weapons that are at the ready. They love that. I loved seeing that Tri-Slosher. That Tri-Slosher was so fun to watch, and it really did kind of win the game for them with those plays that they forced by predicting the enemy. They didn't wait for mistakes to happen. They made these plays happen. I love to see that. So I'm curious to see if we're going to continue to see the same stuff from Scrim in 1 hour now that if they lose this, they're sent to losers.
Yeah, I'm super curious too, because I think that both the Nozzle Nose and the Tri-Slosher are both good choices here. You can definitely, I think we're going to be looking to see which of the teams can really break out of that elbow. You get that first check, and then walking it afterwards is just so difficult because you can just get it bombed out. Of course, the bamboo, you have that whale. If the whales are coming at you in that elbow, it's going to be super difficult to break out. So looking at this, interestingly enough, I was going to mention now how Jet is really strong here, but also Tri-Slosher's strong here. So Glash said, listen, why not both? I'm going to have that Jet, I'm going to have that Tri-Slosher, and we're going to make it happen.
That's so true. And we are seeing another switch from the side of Scrim in 1 hour. We're seeing the splashdown dualies, the end parries. And so that's going to allow them a lot more map space. I mean, but then again, I don't think that the crab was a bad idea. I think they just need that really fast, instant gratification of a splashdown. You know what I'm saying? So we are going to be getting right into it. The Rainmaker is already at 70 points. We aren't really able to get it through the first checkpoint, unfortunately, but it is a strong opening from Scrim in 1 hour.
Yeah, but you know, when you don't have that check, I feel like a lead is practically non-existent, really, because if the other team was able to push up to that, it can be gone in an instant, and that's what's so exciting about Rainmaker sometimes. But you have fighting in mid, 3 members down on Scrim in 1 hour, so this is going to look like possibly a free check for PSG if they play their cards right, and we have a dunk. Now the game is really opening up for PSG now that they have this, but we're going to see if we see some members go down, and it does happen from that Rainmaker pop.
For sure. The Rainmaker pop does take 1 victim, and we are going to be to mid here. We're going to be trying to clear the way for the Rainmaker. 2 down from PSG. A Booyah at the ready for Scrim in 1 hour. However, the crab is going to be hurtling globs of ink towards the Rainmaker carrier, effectively stopping that push. However, it was pretty much a guarantee that they would have been able to make it to the checkpoint. So it is a very important crab from 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is going to be going down, unfortunately, here. PSG only 2 up. It's not looking like they're going to be able to defend this check for much longer unless they get people out on the battlefield as fast as possible. So we are seeing everything being thrown here. The Rainmaker does grab one, and they are able to dunk it, making it a balanced game. It's just if they're able to get the Rainmaker, and it looks like they are going to be able to move this just a few points, maybe, if we're going to be getting into it. Yep, we're able to take the lead here, but we can't move much further.
Yeah, I think the whale and elbow is huge. That, of course, gets them a little bit of that lead, which, regardless, I will give my life on Splatoon to just get it off check and get those extra other points, because there's no guarantee that the other team is going to be able to get fast check. So I think that is actually, I was talking about earlier how it doesn't super matter what your lead is if you don't have check. I think that this is a huge lead, despite being 3 points. But you see already people going down here. I think we're in a 3v3 situation. And both of these teams just trying to bide their time, get their specials. A crab is popped, trying to get some chip out. Are they able to get this really critical pick? It's not going to happen, which means that they have this splashdown, and neither of these teams have a really clear run to the goal, it seems.
For sure, but I mean, I will say, like we've said, it feels like a lot of people don't like Rainmaker, but I will say, with both checks down, the game is very entertaining to watch, because it's just about who can really capitalize on the mistakes quicker. And so we are seeing Scrim in 1 hour really run the Rainmaker all the way down to 48. It's not going to be as good of a lead as you can guarantee, especially on this map. On this map, the game is pretty much not ended until the timer runs out. And so we are seeing the Rainmaker back in the side of PSG. We're not really running it just yet. We're trying to make sure that we can get a safe entryway for it. The whale is going to come out. I'm not able to find anyone just yet. And we do see a splashdown. We're going to try and get a pick with the splashdown. Not able to make it happen. The Dualies is kind of caught out, unfortunately, but they have their eyes on the prize, and the prize is the Rainmaker right now. And suddenly 3 down from PSG and 1 minute left, and they don't have the lead.
Yeah, you know, I think that Scrim in 1 hour just has such aggressive specials. Kenshin holding here is the bamboo, so we're not going to be seeing those whales, but ultimately not super mattering, because what they're trying to do is just like stall out that time. They want to keep their hands on the Rainmaker, essentially so that PSG doesn't have it, right? You're like, I have the Rainmaker, which means you don't have it, which means you're not scoring points. And especially when you have such razor thin margins, like a 48 points to 60, you're gonna want to do plays like that. The Rainmaker resets. 3 members are down from Scrim in 1 hour. I think Antenna trying to be a little bit safe, because they do have the Splashdown, which is the only special that's up right now. Splashdown comes out to get rid of that bubble, but we have a counter crab. It's just a game of specials, and I think they're gonna have to play their cards right if they want any hope to close this out. But they have the Rainmaker, so now we are in the end game now.
I was really hoping that somebody would grab the Rainmaker just a little bit earlier so we could have time to play with, but unfortunately not. We are grabbing the Rainmaker now, so we're trying to make the most of it, and we took the lead. What was I saying? We don't need the time. The time needs us. PSG is winning this set just by overtime.
Yeah, that's gotta be tough when you're Scrim in 1 hour. They put a lot of resources into making sure that they could deny PSG that Rainmaker, but sometimes, you know, you have to be careful on map modes like this, because all it takes is you know, people going down at the wrong time, someone not having a special when they should have it, and that can be game, because I think those 2 people maybe don't go down. I think those dualies maybe hold off a little bit and wait for their team, and I think they could have shut that down. So super unfortunate there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, really good patience from both sides, though. I loved to see, you know, that we were just kind of waiting for the right opportunity, and, you know, it was also luck-based at the end, too. It just, when it's Rainmaker, you're kind of just running and praying that there's not a bomb right in front of you. I mean, very fantastic showing from both teams, though. I feel like they were beautifully balanced. I loved seeing them, and it was great. But I mean, yeah, we're going to get right into the next match as soon as we can, but we are going to throw it to the quickest of breaks so that we can get that room up and ready for you. But don't go anywhere. You are watching the Oktofest 2025 qualifier.
falling down these lies again. This feeling that I have deep down inside. I just wanna be the one you need. And now I need you by my side. I can't sleep at night. I just get lost in time, leave it all behind. I can't get enough of that. I'm enough. Let me be the one for you.
Ride with me. Don't gotta worry for the both of us. Put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry and I need love.
Hello again, and welcome back to the Oktofest 2025 qualifier. My name is Nell, and I'm joined with Sasu.
It's me. I'm here. I didn't go anywhere, and I'm glad you didn't either.
Where would I go? But we're gonna be watching Frutella versus Toady-chan. Hi.
I always love when there's a team that has like a player's name in the title, because it's like
Yes.
Toby-chan Hi, and I'm like, well, there's Toady. There's the aforementioned Toady. You
Clearly.
know? And we also see you Snipe here. What I think is like pretty well known question mark for leader, I think.
I think so. But I mean, I don't really know much about these players, but we're having fun, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see what we're going to be going on here. I will say the first one is going to be Zone's Ramen. So another classic. I like this map a lot. I'm the heavy edit guy. Of course I like this map.
I, as the second heavy edit guy, I also like this map.
Right.
If you wanted a diversity of opinions on the mic, maybe wait until the next casting block, because the heavy edit opinions are going to be in full force. But speaking of full force, we're right into it. Interestingly enough, a double backline comp right off the top, and a tri-slosher nouveau. So they're double cooler.
Ooh, I love a good double cooler comp. We're really going to be trying to kind of be alive as long as possible. I like to call it the zombie comp as well. Frutella is in charge of the zone right now. We're seeing a lot of long range on both sides. We're seeing a pencil on both sides and a rapid pro deco on the side of Frutella. So I really love that. I love the chip that we're going to be able to see. But I mean, unfortunately, Toady Chan Hai is in charge of the zone right now. And we do have a special at the ready. We have a tacticooler ready just to ensure that if Frutella says anything or does anything, that we'll be safe. Two do go down from Toady Chan Hai, and we're going to be trying to get another flip for the side of Frutella, and so it's just not there yet, and there we go, and now the zone is in charge of Frutella.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this works out, because Pencil, of course, is well known to be pretty strong here. But at the end of the day, Rapid can be kind of a counter to Pencil. It can chip them out, force them to move, make it so they can't just hit their shots, sit where they're sitting, uncontested. But at the same time, when you have this double backline, it can feel as though you don't have a sufficient amount of people attacking. And you see Toady Chan Hai moving up to that super important elbow section, getting some of the picks that they want, and right now the zone is in neutral up until Frutella takes it. So you see both of these teams super close in skill and super close in score as well.
For sure. It is pretty aggressive for both teams right now. Toady-chan is going to be trying to push up through this elbow area once they get more specials under their belt. We currently just have a tacticooler available, but unfortunately, I mean, time was not on their side. Two did go down, which allowed U-Snipe to get some purchase out of their Zipcaster here. We do have Toady Chan Hai has the numbers advantage, but they don't really have they have the zone now. They have the zone now, so they're able to push forward through the elbow area in order to make something happen. France Frowny Face is going to be able to get the tacticooler out and really guarantee that they are going to be living in the elbow area for a long time.
Yeah, and that is horrendous on a place like Robo Ramen. You need your elbow to be able to do basically anything, and a wipeout here on Frutella is going to put Toady Chan Hai in a really fantastic position. Being stuck in lockout is just, it's never good, but in a place like Robo Ramen, it can just be super difficult to move up to that elbow, take it back without going down, and especially Toady Chan Hai double cooler. Gonna mean that, like you said, they're zombies. They just won't stay down. And with the clock ticking, King gets a fantastic pick, and I think closes out the rest of the game. So that is going to be a win for Toady Chan Hai, putting Frutella at the score deficit.
I loved watching that. I thought that was super fun, and I do love to see that Toady Chan Hai, with the undead comp that they were running, they were able to make something happen here. It's like, we're kind of like flies. We never truly go down no matter how much you step on us. Well, actually, they're kind of like cockroaches, but that's kind of a mean. It's not in a mean way. It's in like a you're so epic and you never die kind of way, you know?
No, you're epic. Don't die. But yeah, like you said, I think it was really helpful for them that they didn't really have to worry about staying down, because the other thing about being coolered, not only do you just not have that much downtime, but I feel like your frontliners, being on Tri-Slosher, I also play Tri-Slosher, the way that weapon plays is you have to stay alive, get that cooler out, and then you just like go buck wild. You're like a dog just trying to go after the enemy team before you go down because you're coolered. But the fact that the Tri-Slosher is coolered means that they can be an attack dog all the time, and so can the rest of the team. So the fact that none of them have to really worry about going down because they're just have all this uptime definitely made it so that they could take risks, take space, and make it hard on Frutella.
Sure, but I also think that it's risky to have two tacticoolers. You don't really have that GG special. You don't have the another thing in your pocket to fall back on. You just have yourself, which is, it's really risky. But I think that I really love watching it when it is run. And like you said, that Tri-Slosher can just be an attack dog. You know, it's like when they go my scarab, go, you're alive now. But we are going to be going over to tower control on ship shape, and let's see if there's going to be any changes. There may be a bubble somewhere. I want to see if they're going to continue to run double cooler. I want to see if like the size of this map maybe has a different reasoning behind that. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we will see. I'm interested to see it because on one hand, I would argue this is the most snowbally tournament legal thing that you can find. Really, it can just be so difficult to like once they hit that third checkpoint, it's basically GG's. It's almost impossible to come back from that. So the fact that they're double coolered here, going to maybe pay them back in dividends where they can come back, continue fighting in that mid, and hopefully get the better of that S-Blast. And you see already 3 members down on Frutella and Toady-chan High putting themselves in an advantage state, and it's going to get even worse with this double cooler.
For sure. I mean, the only aggressive special that we're seeing from Toady-chan High is the, well, it doesn't really matter. It is the, well, it doesn't really matter if I'm Chandelure and I get 2 picks. I was going to say it's the crab. But, I mean, if you have the comfort of having a Tacticooler and then boom, there's another Tacticooler right behind you, guaranteeing that you're going to stay alive, I mean, what's the point of having these really pressuring specials? We do see the S-Blast having the Booyah Bomb, trying to clear everybody out from the tower. Maybe not getting anything, unfortunately, but the Tacticooler is out again, and France does go down to Toady, the fabled Toady. But I mean, the tower is going back to neutral, kind of, but King is just sitting on it until they die.
Yeah, you see that Toady-chan High has been able to break through like 2 checks. Like, they've gotten a lot of work done in that push, and the work continues. You see that they are currently on tower, trying to see if they can close it out moving forward. So now the name of the game for Frutella is going to be taking that top left, seeing who they can clear out, and a bubble has been popped by the decab on that top left, so U-Snipe has to take that time to try and get rid of it. And I just think that Toady-chan High is doing a fantastic job of keeping everyone distracted, keeping their hands full so that they can continue this push and see if they can close out the game.
For sure. I mean, Frutella's been on the back foot for the entire 2 minutes. We do see a bunch of members of Toady-chan High trying to get the win condition area of top right, and it doesn't work out because there is a wipeout. France is sitting on top right with a cooler in their pocket. They are not going to die without a fight. We're really just throwing everything at the tower, and it's going to work out. Toady-chan High is 2-up-2 with this best of 5 set with their undead comp.
Honestly, as soon as I saw that third checkpoint, basically, like I said before, I was like, it's GG's. You know, it's incredibly rare. Even if you're able to wipe the other team, people are going to keep just jumping in, trying to get that momentum on the tower where it says, oh, someone's touching? I did. And it is for that last one, despite the fact that everyone's dead. So they were going to be hard pressed to try and come back from that. And it's just not defense favored on ship-shaped tower. So that's just kind of how it is. And now Frutella is going to have to figure out how to get through this zombie comp. You and I know that as much as these people are coming back, they essentially only have a crab. That crab is always going to be active because they're always going to come back cooler. But if they can manage that crab and take advantage of the fact that they're in a deficit as it pertains to offensive specials, then Frutella may be able to come back. Is it 2? Toady-chan High has 2, no? Am I wrong?
Toady-chan High...
They were named wrong. But it's Frutella who is...
is Frutella the undead comp?
They are. Honestly, I saw Punchy, and I know Punchy's on Frutella, right? So I was like...
Yeah, sorry for the confusion. Frutella is up 2, and Toady-chan High is down to 0, unfortunately. But we'll see how this goes, because I love a good undead comp. I love how fast it goes. I love that, you know, you just have to keep throwing yourselves at it. It's basically just having, like, it's like old Splatoon. It's having, like, 3 mains of quick respawn or whatever. And so we are getting right into it once again. We're seeing the same comp on Toady-chan High, and we are never mind. I'm getting confused with the names now that I realize they're different teams.
What's so funny is that, because I know Punchy to be on Frutella, Frutella, I think, in the Splat World series, right? So I was thinking, oh wow, has Punchy just left Frutella and it's on Toady-chan High? But yes, everything is fixed now, no problem, and already we have a quick run from Toady-chan High. U-Snipe trying to get a pick here. Likely, no, they're gonna respawn there, but they do go down, and it's just, they weren't able to get that check. So ultimately, good work getting points on the board, but maybe not making, well, there's the curse, because they've gotten that first check, which is gonna put them in a fantastic place, especially because they're down 2-0.
For sure. I mean, Frutella's on the back foot right now, but they are only a minute in. It is just the Rainmaker alive from Toady-chan High. They are going to have to jump back in, but unfortunately, the Rainmaker is going to go down, and we're going to try and clear out the members of Toady-chan High the best that we can, really punishing everything that they are putting on the board right now. 2 do go down from Toady-chan High, and so it's just this stagger where it's like, okay, we're alive, but we're really not. We really need to just reset. And so, I mean, we're going to try and force a reset because Frutella is pushing into the plat area of Toady-chan High, and so we are going to be dunking the Rainmaker into that checkpoint. 1 up from Frutella. It's looking good for Toady-chan. However, I mean, it just takes one person to run the Rainmaker just a little bit to make a lead swap happen, and so it looks like we're going to be leaving the Rainmaker for now, just kind of honoring that we cleared it out as best as we can, and it's really neck and neck right now.
You know, right off the top, we're talking about how Toady-chan High's path to victory is going to be taking advantage of the fact that Frutella is at a deficit for those offensive specials, but we do see a DC, and that ends that game, I think, while they contemplate replaying it. I don't have the rules in front of me, but it was replayed in one way or another. They ended the game. So, unfortunate DC, I think, on the side of Frutella. So, they're going to get that checked out, I imagine, and be right back with us.
Under the assumption that they pushed the Rainmaker past a point where it would be valid, but I don't know the rules, unfortunately. I'm just hired for the voice.
Yeah, we're just the voices. We don't read the rules.
Yeah, we don't read the rules of the tournament. Why would I do that? No, I'm kidding. But I mean, Frutella was looking good for that entire game, and now that I realize that they're the undead comp, kudos to you, Frutella. I apologize for mixing your name up, even though I probably should have realized, because the team named Toady-chan, there is a person on the team named Toady. So maybe I should have put 2 and 2 together, but like
a critical fumble from me as well, seeing as though I'm familiar with Frutella. So the fact that I was like, wow, you know, sometimes when you're commentating, there will be someone who's typically on a certain team on roster, and for some reason, one person is just on another team that they're going up against.
Yeah, that's fine. That's how it goes, right?
Yeah, and sometimes, like, it'll be in their name or something. It's a pickup, and they're like, you know, Nathan abandoned us. And then there's a Nathan on the other team, and you're like, Nathan, what happened here? Like, Nathan, what's the T? And so I was like, oh, did Punchy and Crowd, like, just leave the team and is on this other team? And they were just on their own team. And I just wasn't paying attention.
Our fallacy is that we trust the back end people too much.
You know what? And it's funny
I trust you too much. I trust you too much.
I'm like, we trust you too much. Someone who would make the same mistake. Someone who did make the same mistake. Literally
we all made
on
the same mistake. We're all culpable here.
Culpable.
I mean, we're getting right back into it. It's going to be a replay. Let's see if anything changes. We did see it was pretty balanced. Nobody was explicitly winning last match. So, I mean, maybe we'll see more of a landslide this time now that we have a sneak peek into the tricks up the sleeve of the other team.
Yeah, I was going to call out, we immediately had a flank on the right side from Frutella, and they get dearly punished for it immediately as I think 3 members went down there, and that is a free check for Toady-chan High. Honestly, talk about a replay, because this is exactly what happened in that last game with dividends, because they put even more points on the board, running it to a 27.
For sure. I mean, they were like, okay, we played this once, let's just close it out this time. And so we're pushing the Rainmaker all the way down to 27, which is a very formidable lead on this map mode. And so it's going to take Frutella a lot of cohesion in order to get back in there. I mean, Toady is still in their base, sort of. Toady is still on their plat, just kind of wasting the time of Frutella in order to make sure that we are not just pushing into mid just yet. However, Frutella is coolered up. We do have our tactical at the ready, so we are able to push if we wanted to. But I mean, Toady Shanghai is not letting up one bit. They really are hungry for this win, knowing that this is match point for them.
Yeah, it is kind of feeling like immovable object sort of gridlock here, because ultimately Frutella going to spend a lot of time up, so Toady Shanghai is gonna kind of have to wipe, gonna get enough of the members down so that they can run it to that check.
Oh, no.
But once again, we see another DC, very unfortunately for Frutella, and I guess they've ended the battle. Once again, I am just the voice. I have not checked the rules as to whether you can have that
so
replay,
sad.
Unfortunately,
I mean, but they pushed it to 27.
Yeah, I mean, like, typically, in most of the tourneys that I see, that is against the rule. But honestly, in most of the tourneys, 60, I think, is over the threshold of what would constitute a replay, which was that first game. So maybe it's just a gentleman's agreement, or I don't want to, say, oh, that's against the rules, and then, chat rule books me, and they're like, no.
It says each team gets one DC. Replays are allowed if the timer has not passed the 3-minute mark and the objective hasn't been pushed past 50.
50. So, and that is the first one, but it is not the second one. But they've replayed it instead of they've ended it when I think so they're just gonna take the loss instead of playing it out, which I think that's rulebook wise, but also sometimes I know that luckily Splatoon 3 as a quality of life thing has allowed it so that if someone DCs in the first minute, they just end the game. But has someone ever DC'd like in the first minute and 2 seconds, and you're like, well, great, I have to play this like 3v4. I don't want to play this. I just wanted to like end the game. I don't want to play at this disadvantage. So literally. I can't even be too mad at it. I might just be like, all right, game, take it, next.
Yeah, I mean, Frutella is still in a pretty advantageous spot because it is a best of 5. So all they need to do is take the next game and then they're set. But I'm really hoping that the Wi-Fi problems are not, pressing for them because they only have 4 team members on their roster. They don't have a football team like we were talking about last time. So, I mean, hopefully these are just blips and maybe we can, get back into it to hopefully soon. Let me see what the next map mode is going to be. It looks like we're going to Clams on Inkblot coming up next. So I'm really thinking that it's going to favor Frutella's Zombie Comp.
Well, you know what now? A little bit outside of just what's going on in front of us, I know that everyone jokes about the $20 and sometimes it can be a little bit tough with the Wi-Fi and the internet, but ultimately this is a qualifier for a LAN. So if you're able to come out there, play on LAN, DCs do happen on LAN, but they are way rarer, and some people's weapons play a little bit differently because there's no lag, there's no issue like that. So definitely, because Wednesday was paddling pool, and there was a set with 5 DCs. 5 DCs
heard
that I was commentating over. It's so funny. Everyone I talk to is like, "Oh, I heard about the 5 DC." So apparently, this is an incident at this point, I guess. But you're likely not going to get the 5 DCs on LAN. And honestly, I know that Europe, brass tacks, Europe doesn't have the best infrastructure as it pertains to internet. Neither does necessarily the United States, but Asia is just far ahead. Their internet is on another level. That's why they play all the esports over there. But, the internet can't get you on LAN. So definitely try and make your way out to Oktofest if you are able to. And that is going to be an experience not having to worry about lag or anything like that.
For sure. Remember to support your local lands. Support your local lands. If you have a land coming up soon, or just keep your ear to the ground. If you want to go to a land, I suggest go for it. It's so fun, especially after Riptide. Now that there's kind of a lull in competitive Splatoon right now, is what I've heard from a lot of people. They're like, "What do I have to look forward to?" And it's like,
outside of NA, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the NA League, well, I mean, you have your local lands to look forward to, so be sure to support that, and especially Oktofest 2025, which is going to be taking place in Germany on October something. Let me take a look.
It is going to be huge.
It's at the bottom of the screen. Sometimes it shows up, so... Sometimes it shows up at the bottom of the screen. It's going to be taking place in late October. Be sure to sign up on start.gg/Oktofest.
Yeah, that super exciting. Like both Nell and I were able to see each other at the last large LAN. I think Riptide was the largest LAN outside of Japan ever held for Splatoon. So it was incredible, and honestly, I can't speak enough about how awesome it is to meet other Splatoon fans, being able to play, even if you're not playing, even if you just want to spectate. If you're able to make it out to Germany, out to Oktofest, it's even though it's in Germany, it's largely for the entirety of Europe. So see if you can get your way out there. And if you're like, I don't know anybody, anything like that, you'll meet people. I can't suggest enough going out to a LAN. If you're able, if you have the means, definitely just try it out. Just try it out. See how you like it. And then, next thing you know, and Nell, you might be able to speak to this a little bit. Next thing you know, you might be making your own LAN that's local to you, and people might be traveling for that. So definitely see what it's about. I genuinely can't tell you enough to see what you can do and go out to a LAN.
For sure. I mean, traveling is a huge part of life, essentially. If you are able to do it, if you have the means to be able to do it, and you want to, get out there and meet new people, I definitely suggest it. I mean, when I went to Riptide, I chose to drive instead of fly this time, and I experienced the beautiful mountains for, the first time ever. I was like, oh my goodness, these are gorgeous. I was just driving through the beautiful mountainside, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a world outside of where I live? That's crazy.
Yeah, there's definitely, because we did a lot of driving as well for me, and I know that because everything is so much closer together in Europe, if you're able to just do traveling, there's a lot of landscapes that you can see. But forget about landscapes, we're going to school. It's clams, and there are no changes in the comp. So it's just going to be both of these teams locking in and seeing what Tony-chan High can do up against this double-coolered zombie comp.
For sure. Tony-chan High is back at it with a pick on Chandelure on the right side of the map. France is going to be taken down by Toady. That is 3 down from the side of Frutella. An absolute fast and volatile opening from the side of Toady-chan High. It's so fast that we only have 2 clams at the ready. We do see our pencil player on the side of Toady-chan trying to make something happen within the speed at which we got there, but Chandelure is coming in hot, able to get 2 and looking for a third, lurking for that pick. We're really trying to just close it out, and we do have a bubble at the ready now from the side of Frutella. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too fast for Toady-chan to capitalize off of that lead, and so we're still back at neutral.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the time you're just like, kill, splat, and that seems useful off the top, but at the end of the day, if everybody pushes up right off the top, then you're more focused on getting those picks than you are your clam economy. France, on an absolute tirade, gets that cooler out before going down. Didn't quite catch if they were coolered or not. I don't think they were, but in the time, 3 members go down from Frutella, and none of them were able to get that cooler at the end. So I think this is one of the rare moments where they are indeed going to stay down, and that's why Toady-chan High has this opportunity to get in here and put some points on the board.
For sure, Tony-chan is wasting no time really dunking these clams in as fast as possible. France is going to try and make something happen, but Tony, with the splash wall, is able to be safe for just a little bit longer, and it's a 1v1 scenario on both teams. It's just a bloodbath, and we are going to be seeing the barrier close back up for Tony-chan High, which is good for Frutella. It allows them the space to back up just the littlest bit, but Tony-chan is still in control of most of the clan economy, and they're also in control of most of mid here. So, I mean, it's really not looking good for Frutella just now, but there's plenty of time on the board to get back out there.
Absolutely. A few of their members being picked off. I think Frutella has one member pushed up, that decaf. You know how decafs tend to just take the space and keep it, but they do get punished for that overextension. Two going down with U-Snipe there before they go down themselves. So Frutella finally taking that mid, trying to take the space, and they have the clam economy with 2 power clams to possibly make some absolute damage and quite frankly take the lead. Punchy putting the hurt on members of Tony-chan High, able to pick that up before it expires and dunk that in. So we are down to 80. We'll see if they're able, no, I'm gonna call it, they're not able to put any more points on the board.
That's so unfortunate because Punchy was pushing so hard to be able to get that power clam in there. I'm not really sure what the status was of their teammates, if there was somebody in mid kind of taking attention away. But, I mean, it allows Tony-chan High to have a power clam at the ready, unfortunately, which is kind of like the opposite of what you want. And so we're just kind of, Frutella's on the back foot right now still, with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. Still a lot of time to be able to score here, but they're gonna need to be able to get some crucial picks and some space. France is going to trade out with the decav on the side of Frutella. So we are just kind of 3-up scenario. It's just 1 up from the side of Frutella, and Tony-chan is really just kind of riding the high of these picks here, and we're back in mid in favor of Tony-chan.
I'm gonna actually say that Frutella, of course, we've been talking about this zombie comp this entire time, but I think it's a little bit less effective on a mode like clams, because ultimately, when you do go down, you drop all of those clams and you're at a deficit in terms of clam economy. And I think that those feelings, the negatives from going down, are not as apparent in maybe zones where you can just jump back in. So you see, once again, Tony-chan High has that basket open, able to get through their penalty points, but not much more. That basket is going to close again with very little fanfare. And I think that ultimately, you know, the fact that they keep coming back in, they just don't have the clams that they need. They don't have the space that they need, and they're putting themselves at a disadvantage by having just one special that they can use to push.
For sure, and that is the risk that they took when doing the undead comp. Unfortunately, it just is like, we don't really have the specials to be able to take the space if we're not able to get that original foothold. But Frutella, what did I just say? Frutella is taking a lead with 5 seconds left on the clock. King the Pencil is going to try and keep the basket open just the littlest bit, but we are in an overtime scenario, and it may be in a downside for Frutella because, oh my goodness, it's just a bloodbath. We see Punchy with the crab defending, just trying to make sure that this power clam does not get into their basket. We do see a little bit of cheeky little squid bags right next to the power clam, and that is all she wrote. I can't believe Frutella really took that at the end.
Yeah, you know, one thing, especially as anything that's basically not zones, all it takes sometimes is just one good push. You know what I mean? Someone can just get that one clam in, you go down at the wrong time, and the other team can capitalize on that. And that's exactly what happened, you know? They didn't have people in position where they should have been, and you know, it slips straight through your fingers. Very unfortunate for Tony-chan High after such a dominant game, but they are going to lose the set 1-3.
For sure. I mean, really good showing from both teams. I loved seeing, Tony-chan's prowess in the previous game. I thought that was a fantastic showing. And I mean, same with the last game. It was just, it's not over until it's over. It's not over until the bell dings, and everything is just so volatile. And if you go down at the wrong time, that's all she wrote. We are seeing an overlook on the main bracket here. We are going to be, well, I don't know if we're going to be streaming this. We are seeing Frutella going over to finals with Gris. And Todi-chan High is going to be going over to losers bracket, but we may not see the last of them because there may be a bracket reset on the table for Oktofest 2025 qualifier.
Yeah, wow. Really exciting to see if we're gonna get to a bracket reset, because ultimately both of these teams are fighting for that discount, right? And on some level, money's kind of on the line, so you're gonna be fighting tooth and nail. You're like, listen, I want that discounted ticket for me and my homies. We're going to the bracket reset if we can make it happen.
Seriously. But we are going to throw it to the quickest of breaks as we kind of load into the next match and make sure that you have a seamless viewing experience. But don't go away. We're going to be seeing more Oktofest 2025 qualifiers soon.
Hello and welcome back to the Oktofest qualifier. I'm Sassy here with Nell. We're getting right into it. Grease versus Frutella. Are you as pumped as I am now?
I'm very pumped. I am as pumped as somebody can be at 3 p.m. Eastern time on a Saturday. I'm about as pumped as somebody could be. But, I mean, for you, this is a German land, so for you out there, it may be a little bit later. So we are going to be seeing Frutella. We did watch them in the previous match. They did have a very fun zombie comp featuring 2 tacticooler weapons. So let's see if Gris, we haven't seen them yet today, but these are very familiar names, Sasu. They're very familiar, so...
Yeah, wow. You guys saw my face like live on cam as I saw the roster because I did not check beforehand and I was like, oh, wow.
They're stacked.
And you know, this being European, I think we have a bit of a, what's the word, like reuniting of Gray and Volty, formerly, of course, on Alliance Rogue, I believe. So they are joining forces on Grease. Is it Spanish for gray? Maybe it's literally gray. Grease. Not sure, but we are going straight into it. Let's take a look at these comps. Interestingly enough, we have Volty on that Carbon. We haven't seen a Carbon yet. And of course, that zombie comp once again coming out of Frutella.
For sure. I mean, Gray is already down, and the Carbon Roller is already down on the side of Grease. Frutella is coming in hot. However, my words are leaving me, Sasu. The crab from the side of Frutella is pushing Grease out of the way, and it is a very volatile opening for Frutella. They are waiting, they are pulling. They are punching. Yeah,
honestly, it's almost dizzying. You see these members just strafing through the ink and doing just a lot. Yoshell there on that pencil, making sure to get that paint down. Vaulty doing a really good job. I think we saw someone go down to a burst bomb there. So definitely the other team, I'm sure they're getting chipped out. If it's not from Vaulty, it might be from the double team on Gray because they both have that burst bomb, right? So burst bombs are just flying through the air. King just trying to keep that control. And finally, despite the fact that we've seen a lot of offensive pressure from Grease Grease, they are only now getting points on the board. Frutella had a really strong opening there.
For sure. Frutella had such a strong opening. Now we get to see if they have a good retake. We are seeing Greg getting very important directs here with a Booyah Bomb on the zone. Punchy is going to be able to flip the zone, allowing a small little penalty for Grease Grease. It's going to be in their pocket just in case they get the zone again. Volty is sharking here as they usually do, and we are seeing the Carbon Roller in the main little zone area with a Azuka in their pocket, unable to get it out, unfortunately, and it is 3 up on both sides. King does pop a Tacticooler from the side of Frutella. That is one of their 2 Tacticoolers. Not sure if a lot of people are able to get it just yet because they are in a staggered state right now as Gris Gris is in control with 2 specials under their belt.
We also have to bring attention to the fact that Grease Grease is running a lot of AoE on their team, and AoE can be so difficult to deal with here because, of course, those drops can just be completely dominated by a Gray on that S-Blast or by a Vaulty on that Carbon. It's very much so, you know, drop. No one's going to jump you, and they will. They're waiting for you to chip you out there, but we do have one of the members going down. Grease Grease currently still has a lot of control there. Gray doing a fantastic job of just jumping out, staying safe, making these drops terrible, as you can see there. And I think the clock is ticking. It is a little bit of neutral, but I don't think that they have the manpower to flip it. That is a win for Grease Grease.
Frutella had such a strong hold at the first part of the match here, but it seems like once Grease Grease really had their foot in the door, it was so difficult to get picks on them just because of the amount of time that they spent kind of jumping out and being slippery, you know, with the Carbon Roller and with Gray on those incredibly formidable directs and jump outs. It's got to be difficult for them to make stuff happen, but I mean, Frutella, they're still in it to win it. They did have a good foothold on the first half of that match, and it is a best of 5, so we are going to be going into our next match quite shortly. It's going to be Tower on Mako Mart.
Yeah, you know, in Spanish, Grease is Gray, and I believe it's the same in French. It's Gray again, and I see why it is Gris because Gray was all over that. We saw people being chipped out there, and especially now that we're going to Mako Mart, another place that is very AoE favored, I think that you know, this is going to be super difficult for Frutella to deal with. I'm going to be curious if they still want to go with this double cooler or if they're going to decide that they need more GG specials, more offensive power up against these powerhouses.
I mean, the undead comp that they've been running has been working for them so far. We are going to be seeing them continue with it. I would like to, I don't know how they feel about Splattercolor Scream, but I would like to see that version of the Tri-Slosher come back eventually, because we have seen a Tri-Slosher on Frutella like each match. So I really like to see that with all the ledges on this map. We are going to be seeing Frutella get the first pick here on Gray and on Volty, and we are kind of pummeling this crab here, trying to make sure that they stay down and get down. We are just having scrappy fight after scrappy fight, and the tower is still in neutral despite these picks that are being plucked.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that all of the members are making sure that no one's sharking, that they're not going to have any trouble, and I think they break through this checkpoint 1 with ease. And especially, I was going to call out that crab in a really aggressive position, but Phoenix able to get them down immediately. Volty paying them back with that trade, and once again, it's funny that Crab went down, was back because of the double cooler, and just got a Zuka to the back of the neck. This is absolutely brutal, and I think Grigri is just running through this.
I mean, Grigri is doing a fantastic job at punishing any mistake that they have. I mean, they know that the gimmick is double cooler, so it's like, okay, we're just gonna get you when you come back. And I really like that thought process. They're not even allowing them the opportunity to come back and have this foothold, because it's like, oh, you should have been here the whole time. You know what I mean? So we are seeing a very aggressive crab from Grigri being canceled out. There's a cancellation on both sides. Yoshel is kind of staying on the tower, making sure that it's continuing to move forward. Not if Punchy has anything to do with it, but with the super speed jump out, followed by that tacticooler, we're really going to have to come back into mid here. Oh, the crab is being canceled out by Yoshel. Beautiful directs here. The aim on this team is so formidable. It feels like if they want to direct, they're going to get one. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think Gray is really on it today. And then you see Vaulty on this Carbon getting a double on that stack. Absolutely huge. I think just ultimately, Grigri is doing a fantastic job of just managing everything. It feels as though no one on Frutella can ever breathe. No one can set up. I think Punchy is the one who is on that splash, and they can never pop their crab in peace. It's just, there's always something happening. Gray, really much on the sort of bats trying to get a pick, does go down, but I think has done a sufficient job of distracting, which is going to be huge on a place like Tower Makomar. And you see, bloodbath. Crazy.
For sure. I mean, one thing that's still keeping Frutella in the match here and with their head in the game is that, I mean, Gris did not fully break that checkpoint. They didn't fully break that final checkpoint, which will have to force the tower to be in a little stopped area for just a little bit. And I think that's going to be super important because it feels like Grigri is just so fast. They're incredibly fast paced. They have the carbon roller. They are under every single ledge. They are canceling every single thing that we have here. Punchy is trying to push forward with the crab. We are going to be able to cancel out the pencil, but there is a Zuka right to the face. We're going to try and dodge it the best we can, but Grigri does have a crab at the ready of themselves. We really want to get some points on the board, but Gray is going to be camping these jumps. It is just volatile from both ends here, and 2 up from Grigri is going to be a great opportunity for Frutella to get some points on the board, but once again, they're just kind of distracted. They're looking all the way at the person on the left side. There's nobody in front of the tower to help prepare them for this push. It's just so difficult.
Yeah, there is just a lot of damage because you see Phoenix trying to set up on that tower, but the bubble immediately got shredded. But finally, Frutella's putting some points on the board. They pushed it all the way down to the 50s. Punchy trying to see what they can do. It's not going to be enough. Too many of their teammates are down, and now I think that Frutella is in a position where they may be staggering. So they have to be able to not just stabilize, but I think, as you saw there, I think that bucket goes down, maybe not coolered. People are dying on Frutella, not coolered, because they're dying too fast before they can grab it. So that is something that they're going to have to manage, especially because we only have 40 seconds left. And quite frankly, they closed a lot of that lead, so they might be able to still get a good push in there and make something happen.
For sure. I mean, we are in charge of the tower right now. I mean, King does have an eye on Volty. I think King knows that Volty is kind of on the right side. We're going to keep an eye on them. But, I mean, 2 go down from Grigri. 3 go down. It's just the pencil up. It's looking really great for a lead swap. Possibly if we could stay on the tower and we are able to do a lead swap for Frutella, keeping them in the game. They are 3 down from Frutella, but now with only 5 seconds on the clock and Phoenix on the tower, that's the wipeout, guaranteeing Frutella the win, making it 1-1.
Oh my gosh.
That just happened?
Yeah, Frutella basically did the impossible at the end there. They were struggling the entire time, and at the very end, they just lock in, activated the clutch gene, got the picks that they needed, and just turned it around at the end. And you know what? I really love Tower Makomar, and that's part of the reason, is that if you're able to get those picks at the right part, especially they're heading into like 3rd check, that's a highly contested area, and if you win the fight, you win the game, essentially.
For sure. I mean, their last-ditch effort kicked in, let's put it this way. They were so... that triple towards the end, honestly, getting Gray and getting Volty down are so crucial for the ability for you to move forward. If you can't possibly move forward if those two are alive and kicking and up in your face. So I mean, just taking advantage of that, knowing that those two aggressive individuals are down, you are able to move forward if you're Frutella. And so we are going to be going into the next match. This is finals, by the way. So we are in winners bracket finals, not grands just yet. Somebody still has to fight for the losers bracket to get here. Just a little. But I mean, we are going to be going to Rainmaker on Undertow.
Now, Rainmaker Undertow, not my favorite to play, but one of my favorite to commentate. Because once you get that first check, the game is just so wide open. Getting to that final goal is so difficult because it's so cramped. People can bomb it out. It's worse than even getting past the elbow on a humpback. So once again, all it takes is one good push, and the team can take 2 steps and just wipe 20 points off of the board, trying to get to that final check. So it's gonna be super exciting watching both of these teams fight it out, especially because we have Volty on that Carbon. And I feel like having a Carbon just running around on Undertow trying to stop you from getting to that final check is going to be super entertaining and fun to watch.
It's very fun to watch. It's very punishing to play, I think. If you make one, if you're not on top of it, then somebody could easily sneak the Rainmaker past. I mean, the thing about this map is that it feels like there's 2 options, but there's really only one option, and the one option is on the left side towards the elbow area. So I fully expect there to be a lot of specials in the left elbows of the map. So, I mean, especially with that Zuka from Volty, it's just going to be very difficult to contest, especially because I feel like this person knows where you're going to be. They know exactly where you're going to poke your little head out. So it's going to be incredibly difficult for Frutella to be able to make something happen here, but I believe they can, especially considering they won the last match.
Yeah, and they won it really with a buzzer beater at the end. But like you mentioned, we're expecting to see a lot of specials go out after that first check in that corner. And Frutella famously, not that many offensive specials. They've got that bubble perhaps to protect their own Rainmaker when the time is right to try and get that check. But in terms of taking that space, we'll see if they're able to do it. But so far, off to an early lead. Frutella is able to perhaps try and push to this check. King just taking their time, making sure they don't get picked off by Yoshel. But they do, I think, get chipped off by a lot of the fighting going off. Of course, they still have that pen that's watching them behind them. Phoenix does not go down. And I think that right now, Frutella is in a really good position, despite the fact that, well, never mind. They are no longer in a good position. Phoenix has to get out of there.
It was so interesting to me that Yoshel was choosing to kind of stay behind, take this little flank as a pencil, and it worked out for them really well because 3 did go down from Frutella. So I really liked that play that they took. It seemed risky, but with a lot of reward, and that is the embodiment of Grigri. It feels like there's so much risk, but a lot of reward that comes with it. And so, I mean, Frutella, they have a good lead here, but I mean, how much of a good lead is just check on this map? It's really about who can run it. So, I mean, the game is really going to start once Grigri is going to be able to get past that checkpoint, the first checkpoint here. It's currently in a stalling state in mid, but most of the map is blue from Frutella. So we are going to be seeing High kind of to dance a little bit. Yoshel is trying to get a pick. Volty getting 2. Perfect. That's exactly what they need. Getting the 3rd and giving a wipeout. This is the opportunity that Grigri needed in order to kind of close out that gap between the lead.
Absolutely, that's going to be a free check courtesy of that triple coming out of Volty. And right now we have an active Crab and a Zuka, but it seems as though Frutella maybe winning a bit of the paint, but with 2 of their members going down, they're not able to quite sustain that. And right now, Grigri is in a fantastic position to possibly run it all the way, especially with 3 people down. Volty just trying to get the stragglers there while their teammate runs it there, and they lose it at the last second down to a 1. But you see Volty here on an absolute tirade. I think it may be them and this reign of terror that gives them the rest of the game. Gray trying to bide their time, making sure that they don't go down. Not gonna work, but you know, they're still working on it. They might be able to get this check yet.
For sure. And I mean, you basically just have to KO in order to win this. So if I'm Frutella, I'd be sweating a little bit, just thinking, okay, how are we going to do this? Especially considering they are still in our base. We are still trying to get them out of here. Yoshel the Pencil is still up in our face here. And there is a flank from Gree, but nobody seems to know where they are. But suddenly we snuffed it out, thank goodness, because that would have been absolutely treacherous if, they were able to kind of sneak the Rainmaker past there. But, good for Frutella, because we are going to have a reset here, and it's not done yet. There's still an opportunity to be able to get a KO, but it's going to be an uphill battle.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a do they know moment. So that did end up happening there. You see Gray getting that chip down, trying to see what they can do. Fantastic double there, getting it done. Phoenix trying to clean that up, but Gray doing a really good job of just navigating this whole time, and that is 3 members down for Frutella. We have a minute 17 left, and Gree has their hands on the Rainmaker. They're not even necessarily completely stalling out. Yoshel doing some stalling here, but the fact that they have it and they haven't, say, pulled it all the way back means that they are playing a little bit risky. Gray goes down, 2 members down for Frutella. I don't know, everything's coming up Gree at the moment.
For sure. I mean, I will say with 1 minute left, I feel like there's nothing left to lose unless they just completely fumble the bag here. So I really like that they're taking charge of the Rainmaker still. They're still... Whoa, my cats are fighting. Can you take a mic?
Ooh, the girls are fighting. Talking about fighting, Gray getting a fantastic pick there on that top right. That is 3 members down for Frutella, and right now they just don't have... They have to get to Yoshel and figure out how they're going to get them down, because Yoshel very slowly advancing, not completely stalling it out, and I think ultimately they blow up. No wonder they were moving forward. They were saying, I'm not trying to take my teammates down with me, but that gives the Rainmaker to the hands of Frutella. They have this massive mountain that they have to go over, and part of that mountain is Volti, who is ready to take down that Rainmaker as soon as they get the chance.
I know Volti is trying her best to really just push forward here, but we are going to have to really just get punchy. Everyone's like, okay, we gotta get punchy. We just gotta get them. And that's exactly what they did. I mean, Gree, they kind of just guaranteed the win towards the end. They had the win con. The win con was, getting the Rainmaker to 1. It's like, okay, we did that. Now you come to us. So very strong showing from Gree. I really enjoyed that. I think I'm really glad that they still played it out despite having that win condition met.
And we got to personally, I think, watch Gray play at Riptide, right? In that Rainmaker. So definitely fun to see the thinker putting themselves into effect here. A really strong win for Gray. And I'm thinking that Gree is in a really good position going in to this next game. Of course, they're up 2-1. I'm going to be taking a look as to, or I guess they're probably counterpicking, right? Perhaps? So we're going into Clam Blitz, Scorch Gorge next. And, if they're able to just be dominant, I think I could be wrong. We saw that Frutella struggled, perhaps, a bit the last time we saw them on this map mode. Perhaps I'm misremembering, but I think ultimately the fact that Gree has a Zuka, a Crab, Booyah, they have a lot of ways of getting in, and I think that Frutella is going to have to really rely on that Crab and then also that bubble for jump-ins. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Frutella definitely has the opportunity to get a lead here. We just are really going to need to see that coordination in canceling out Volti and Gray, essentially. I think that's the win condition. I mean, Yoshel was holding it down pretty well. They did a fantastic job at taking strange angles that a pencil would be at, which is where, we can wait a little bit to take them out, but it's going to be very detrimental if you don't take them out. You know what I mean? So we are going to be getting right into it. I don't believe there's any comp changes on either side. So we're going with what we know works, which is a bunch of specialists doing great at the weapons. We're seeing a crab fight over on the right side, not getting any purchase out of that, but we do see the decap from Frutella trying to close out that crab fight. It's just, no picks yet. We're kind of just waiting for the other team to make the first move here. 2 picks down, 3 down on the side of Grigri, and we are seeing Frutella taking space in mid. King is in a very formidable spot as the pencil, and the barrier is broken. 2 power clams in here, and we are going to get it down to 60. There is a bubble trying to keep it up, keep this push going, but we are going to have to fall back because there was a delayed wipe, and that is it for the first push.
Worse than that being it for the first push, like we mentioned in those other games, if you allow yourself to wipe or stagger too poorly, you are leaving your basket at absolute risk, because as you can see, already Grigri has just rushed up in no time up to the basket, and they are putting clams in there down to 65. Vaulty is still there, but alone. So they are trying to get those points in. They do go down trying to do so. They don't make it past the all-important 60-point mark, but ultimately they've closed the gap a little bit, of course, and given them more life in this game.
For sure. I mean, it's pretty neck and neck still, despite there being a lead from Frutella. Grigri has shown in the past to be able to have these very, very volatile pushes, but Gray going down is very good for Frutella to have some more purchase in mid, because we are canceling out that Booyah Bomb that they are known to have. We do have a Zuka from the side of Grigri and a Crab. The Zuka does go down, thankfully. It is just the Crab on the side of Grigri. We're going to have 2 down from Frutella. It's looking good for another push from Grigri if we're going to be able to get through this Crab from Punchy.
Absolutely. You see a lot of fighting going down. Really strong holds there, I think, from King, who is trying to put some chips down, but ultimately Grigri has a really strong clam economy, and they have taken the lead off the back of that wipeout that they got, and now Frutella in a very difficult position, not just because they got wiped, but on Scorch, just fighting people who are already at your basket feels impossible, and unfortunately perhaps it was, because they were able to close it out. That's Grigri 3-1 in this set.
Was so fast, and oh my goodness, they were very hungry for that win. Let's put it this way. Grigri was like, okay, we got it, let's just close this out. I really liked the delegation of the clam economy there. I think they did such a good job of balancing that and making sure that there was always clams to be able to keep the basket open. So honestly, fantastic job from Frutella as well. They fought tooth and nail with an unconventional comp, and I loved seeing their little zombie comp being put into play.
Yeah, and I think not only did I love seeing it, but they stuck to it. They were sometimes in situations where we even called out that they were probably going to struggle due to their lack of retake, due to some of the specials that they didn't have online that we saw, I think, Grigri take advantage of, but I think that they had a really strong showing. They did really well, and the fact that they believe in that comp, especially as a nouveau player myself, I love to see it, but there is a Glee ending up in grand finals with that win.
For sure. I mean, I had such a fantastic time just watching these games play out. They were so fun, and Oktofest 2025 is going to be such a great tournament to watch. So I mean, we are going to be heading out, but after this we are going to be moving over to losers semis. So I mean, as we're closing out here, Sasu, where can we find you?
You can find me at Sasu in your pants, SASUIN, the letters UR pants. That is my blue sky. That is basically all of my socials, my Discord. If you type that in and I pop up, that's me. If I don't pop up, I don't have the socials. So that's basically what I have going on. Other than that, real quick, for those who are in NA who are just watching, if you are like kind of in the East, December maybe 4th, I think there is going to be a Metro Inc. Event. So feel free, if you're hungry for a LAN and you're in NA, come out to Big Dapple. But now I've been yapping enough. Let people know about what you're up to.
Yeah, so my name is Nellfire, Nellfire with a 1. You can find me on Blue Sky or on Twitch. I also have a Twitter, but I don't really use it that much anymore. And I mean, be on the lookout because I'm also working on a Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, Maryland LAN called Anarchy Nova. The next Anarchy Nova is going to be on November 22nd, so be sure to check out the socials if you're in the area and you want to stop by. So yeah, thank you so much for having us today, and yeah, stay tuned for more matches on this Oktofest 2025 qualifier.
Welcome back to the Oktofest 2025 qualifier. Well, I am Sig Dakari. Joining me on the mic is Pat, the fantastic Pat. And we've got our lower bracket semifinals coming up for you guys. So, Pat, who are the two teams that we've got going on right now?
Well, let me see. We have on the one side PSG, Paris Saint-Glufus. They've been grinding tournament, doing so much, and I'm glad to see them get that far in the tournament. On the other side, Todi Chanhai, we saw them earlier in the stream. They're able to do a lot. They are very much a team to watch, like 4 players that can be incredibly explosive, that can do a lot of damage, so pay attention to them. And yeah, that's our semifinals for the lower bracket. We'll see how they're able to do. And we'll be starting with Splat Zones on Urchin and the Bastig.
That is pretty interesting because I know Kit Kat specifically as a Sniper Rider player, but not really sure what they would end up picking here. Meanwhile, on the other hand, in the case of, I believe, Paris St. Glufus, Lidl does play that heavy edit, so it could be pretty different. Looks like Kit Kat's going to opt for those vanilla Dapple Dualies, and Lidl's there on the heavy edit Splatling. Some pretty interesting comps to kick things off. I'm seeing a custom blaster and the new L3 nozzle nose.
Yeah, that L3 is a weapon I've seen several players use and get very good results with it. It is good at fighting, it is good at painting, and if you have the team to go with it, an inkjet still can do a lot of work, a lot of damage, and right now PSG is doing that damage. They're already in control of the zone as Todi-chan is trying to get back onto them, but with that bubbler, I mean, PSG is very, very firm in their position right now. Ooh!
Oh, that's a really big pick.
Yeah.
Fantastic work for Todi. That's going to give Todi-chan the complete control over zone. They're just looking to find those last couple of frags onto the inkjet. Not quite going to find it. Glash finds one on the direct, but eventually is traded out. Now, Paris St. Glufus were able to recover that zone, but that direct did not kill.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That would do it.
It looks like we have a bit of an issue there. Is it just us that disconnected our whole room? Let me ask the player.
Check it. Oh, they don't have any Twitch streams up. Great question.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, we saw... Yeah, I mean, we saw a good opening right there by PSG. We saw a nice answer by Todi, able to get the flank at the exact right time with the Gal to punish the Splatling. There was things going on, there was a lot possible, and I mean, players are not answering. I think they're still in the game, so I think we'll see how things go. We're punished in the corner right now, forced to wait for them to finish game number one. Very sorry about that, because I mean there was a lot to watch between these two teams, but yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
Pretty tough, especially with just such two vastly different team comps. We have kind of a lot more control on one side, on the side of Paris and Glufus with the heavy edit. You have a lot of paint from your two shooters and the junior on Magnolia, and then Glash on the L3. That's something that we really almost haven't seen at all, that can kind of shine with the lack of pencils and other chargers on Urchin Underpass. I really wanted to see how that turns out. We'll see the result of the game in just a couple of minutes. But then Todi-chan opting for kind of the, I guess, more meta option of the Dapple Dualies on Urchin. Yeah. Really, really solid. The beacons are fantastic, and you have the cooler and a little bit more fighting power.
Yeah, I mean, on Urchin, I've seen these Dapples being brought a lot by different teams, and it seems to work because you have so much cover on this map. There's always a way to cut the distance, to hide behind a wall or a tree, to be able, and that's where like these Dapples are not as kept back by the fact that they don't have a bomb, and that gives also the beacons. They are very good beacon spots on this map, so like if you have beacons, you have to like this map, you can help your team get back in, which is always incredibly useful. Now, I guess we have like 4 minutes to kill now, Sig. What's up with your room? What happens to your walls? I mean, nothing happened to your walls, that's a question.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really happened just yet to them. I'm currently, what's it called? At my college in an apartment right now, and haven't really given myself the opportunity to kind of set everything up interior design wise, whether that's from school, from preparing for Riptide, or just about anything else, especially like practicing Splatoon as well. Interior design has kind of taken the back foot in terms of just like priorities. But I mean, yeah, it's still nice. It's still an apartment. It looks like Paris St. Glufus ended up winning on Urchin Underpass. They're going to be bringing us to Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track now, though.
That's not what the Sendo reporting says. It says here that Cody-chan won the first game, and our wonderful observer CK just mixed up the colors. The colors are not that obvious on Sendo Inc., I'd like to say, but Sendo, fix that. but yeah, we're going to move forward with game number 2 as soon as I hope we're back in the room. We should have had the time to join back. So now we're going to Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track. It plays very differently than what we just saw. We didn't see much of these two teams, but I feel like the Dapples have to go. I don't think the Dapples can work as well on Rainmaker Humpback.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the lack of range is very, very difficult to work with. You don't have as many poking options, and you can't take advantage of the cover as much as you can on, say, Urchin Underpass. Now, I will say one way these maps are similar is just how kind of the slopes and the verticality plays. We could see some more blasters. I really like the custom one that I believe that Todi-chan High brought. On the just previous game, the splashdown can do a lot of damage. It can pop that Rainmaker shield instantly as well on Humpback. Definitely something I'm curious to see, but Kit Kat will probably stick to the pencil. My number one question, though, is again going to be that L3. I don't know the kit name, but the Embers L3 with the Splat Bomb and Inkjet. Will that be making another appearance? Splat Bomb Inkjet, just an incredibly powerful kit, but at the same time, you have to deal with a Sniper Rider now, most likely.
Yeah.
So what do you think the give and take there is?
I do not know, but okay. We're getting informed that our observer is experiencing lots of issues. They got another camera, and as the other team is playing, so I think we should go to a break and try to fix it, and then we'll be back, and we'll try to focus on fixing everything, and we'll be able to show you a stream very soon, I hope. But yeah, for now, we're gonna sign off, and we'll be back as soon as it is fixed.
touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you?
And welcome back. Hopefully we are indeed back. And it seems Todi Shanghai managed to get the victory against PSG. We are now in the lower bracket finals, ready to watch Todi Chan go against Frutella this time, Sig.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty interesting fight for the losers finals. But let's take a quick second to take a look at how we got here. Just most of the winner side sets kind of went according to seeding, except for one that initially pops out to me, and that is Krakenschellen. Just securing that upset over seed 6 and then, subsequently being knocked down to the lower bracket. But they had themselves a bit of a run there, just knocking off one or two more sets to make it to top 6, which is really, really solid. Strong work to them. But like you said, we have Frutella versus Todi Shanghai for our lower bracket finals. We just saw these two teams play, both in upper bracket and for a little bit of the lower bracket. And this is going to be a rematch. One of the two words. Our semis, which Frutella took. I'm pretty curious to see what happens here, Pat.
Yeah, Frutella took that semifinal, but Todi Chan was able to get a game off of them. They were competing with them, they were fighting them. So anything is possible in that final. The big question is going to be which of these two teams was able to learn the most from that first time they met, was able to understand how to fight the other, and is going to be able to adapt, play better, and then we'll figure out who is going to go and face Gregory in grand finals. But for now, we're waiting on the teams to get ready. Hopefully we can stay in the lobby this time, and hopefully we get to see this, because honestly, we're already at some of the best players in Europe. All of these games are going to be so fast, so interesting to watch, and I can't wait.
Absolutely, and this being kind of the precursor to Oktofest is really cool. Looking at all these teams, we have a bunch of high-level players, even going back to the top 6. Just very, very impressive stuff. And if this is what we can expect to see from the rest of the
Thin ice, walking on my own. Very nice.
All right, more technical issues.
it wouldn't be a Splatoon tournament without connectivity issues. But we're back.
Or just in time.
Yep. And we've got Todi Shanghai over in the orange versus Frutella in the blue. Again, Frutella running that double cooler that they won with in the winner's side. But down to one player left, and Todi Shanghai are already taking full control of this game, moving into the spawn. Trislosh is able to trade out one, but already Todi Chan is halfway to that water dropping point, and Todi is able to find that trade with Yu, and Yu finds the second one, and Todi Chan, this looks like a completely different game from the winner's set.
Yeah, Todi Chan have the strong opening to control of that team fight and are forcing Frutella now to use the crab in a bubbler to be as effective as possible right now. Very nice team fight by Frutella, but they still haven't captured the zone enough. Okay, Todi Chan is still on top. Penalty was applied sneakily, but that's not enough. Frutella are using a lot of resources and not getting that much right now.
No, not at all, and Yu is able to find yet another pick, as well as that Tri-Slosher, eventually going down to Todi and Yu. The Zipcaster popped, not quite going to find anything. Todi Chan is able to just maintain full control of this map, not really letting anybody drop. Punchy's going to pop that crab tank on the top right side, forcing it to jump out. But even with the drop here, and even with the Decavitators, not quite going to find anything more than just a couple of picks. Never mind, that's the full zone capped, and it looks like not Crowny, the Sniper Rider Kit Kat is going to have to back off here. Decaf tries to drop in, but the try is immediately there to punish and run forwards.
Ooh. And they're going in, getting a trade with the pencil is pretty useful for Frutella right now. As Toti-chan, U-Snipe is simply going in and getting so much value off of that split last time, but it's still one of the best fighting weapons in the game, and this is why right now Toti-chan has taken the zone back. They lost 2 players, but Frutella is struggling to get back forward. Toti-chan right now, I mean, they've been working so hard and they've adapted to anything Frutella does.
Yeah, and they've been able to bend, but they haven't really broken. You know, the Crab Tank constantly just makes the space on the left-hand side, but the rest of the team is able to flex around as Toti dances around that pillow, finds 2 picks, looking for that third one onto the Sniper Rider. Isn't quite able to find it before the Tri-Slash comes back in. It's forced out by the 2 respawning players, but I mean, that's all the space that you need to create on 52. Gal the Whales pop for just a little bit more. The team's able to follow up, and now you have full control of that zone with almost no penalty left as well.
Toti-chan playing perfectly right now, countering anything Frutella is attempting to do. Right now, Frutella needs to go in. They dropped the crab. That crab should be enough to recapture the zone. But it's not enough to take control yet. They need to win this next fight if they want to get any control over the map. But they're forced back to get into another fight right now. Toti-chan has the control of the pace of the game as Frutella is using yet another special to try to maintain the tides even.
Frutella are still struggling to get back in. This Sniper Rider from U is just Sniper Rider Zipcaster from U Snipes is just providing even more issues, as well as Toti with another killer whale, just getting on top of things right there. Finds the pick on the crown. He looks for another one on the Tri-Slash, and a full wipeout with the rest of the team following up. Toti-chan high still have full control. Again, no penalty left there. Dangerously close to KOing is the difference now. Now, Kit Kat does have to back off in the face of that try, but you still have to get onto the zone, and you are as far from it as you can possibly be here. No specials to speak of either. You need to drop down, find picks the old-fashioned way. There's the decav winning the one, but Punchy's down as well. The zone is neutralized with 6 points left, but the big bubbler is incredibly far back. Nobody can really directly contest without being in the line of fire, and that's enough for Toti-chan high to take that first game of the set.
And after watching this game, it's crazy that Frutella managed to beat them in the upper bracket. Toti-chan felt in control of the map the whole game. They were one step ahead of Frutella in every fight, in every push, in every action. It was Toti-chan high. In control, they looked effortless. Meanwhile, Frutella was fighting for dear life every single time, just rushing in simply to get some paint on the zone, and it was never enough. Incredible game by Toti-chan.
Yeah, I can't remember a single time where Toti-chan was just pushed all the way back into spawn. That's really important when you want to win on splat zones, especially on Mahi Mahi Resort, where, I mean, the zone is just so close to either side of spawn. You need to be able to control the drops, control the area in front of zone, most importantly, and the only team that was able to do that in that game was Toti-chan. Now we're going to be we're going to be rotating, switching, got the word there eventually. We're going to be switching over to Clam Blitz, a vastly different mode where you have to push pretty far in compared to splat zones to be able to score, and it's going to be on Scorch Gorge, so a lot of elevation. We're going to be seeing a lot of just contesting around that snipe as well here.
Yeah. Toti-chan, they've made the changes that's allowing them to really beat Frutella. Now it's on Frutella to adapt, to change up their game if they can, to really get back in this game and score some points. Now, let's see who is able to share the clams better. Knowing these two teams, it could go very fast. If one team makes a mistake, that could be paid dearly. And right now, the Tri-Slasher is already getting a double with the help of a Crab Tank. That's a lot of control for Frutella already. 3 down, and Frutella has a lot of clams as well. They're going to open that basket right away, 30 seconds into the game, Sig.
Oh, and the big bubbler as well to just make a little bit more space, score a couple more clams, but the rest of the team ends up dropping eventually. They're going to be ending with about 71 points left, but with a ton of jumps back into top mid. They're right back where they left off, pushing their foot on the gas. And Todi-chan have suddenly found themselves on the back foot. Not something they had to deal with at all in game one, but I mean, now Frutella, they've kind of woken up. They were a little bit angry that they weren't able to get back in, and now they've gotten things going bright and early with another trade from the Tri-Slosher.
Yeah, that's Frutella getting up to the speed, and right now, being back on the attack as Todi-chan are still moving, trying to defend. They're retaking control of their own spawn, and they're back into mid. That push that Frutella got didn't score that many points, Sig. And right now, with 2 players down, Frutella is forced to move back and let Todi-chan get some ground. Now Todi-chan will be able to put some paint around and to get some positions forward. They get the splat on the super clam, and now they're under the basket, but they lost a lot of clams in that push as they were getting a few too many trades, which means Todi-chan were under the basket but didn't have the clams. And now we're back to a fight for mid, but jump is coming in, but all they can do is break the barrier, Sig.
Yeah, it's not going to be any kind of lead swap anytime soon, as the rest of Todi-chan is able to back up, give Frutella the space that they, can't really contest here, and with this Tri-Slosher just sitting around top mid, it is a tall task to even kind of hold that, especially with 2 players down. Todi's going to have to get aggressive, finds one onto Punchy, looks for the second onto Crowny, but no, Crowny's going to be able to find that one, and then yet again, Frutella are just looking for that score. The big bubblers up yet again. They have 2 power cleanse and a tacticooler ready to go here. How much are they going to invest into this push? It looks like just about everything as the decap dives in for a little bit more. Punchy with that crab tank is going to find you, and the scoring just keeps on going down here, Pat. We're down to 35 points left.
Yeah, and thanks to the crab, they're able to keep a lot of presence right there. No more clams, but that's a trade. And yes, there's more clams and a super clam going in. That pity clam is going a long way right now. 3 more clams would give the victory for Frutella. What an answer, Sig.
Oh my goodness. Frutella just snatched that momentum right away from Todi-chan after that game 1 and just threw it back at him. Able to just collect the clams really early, set that tone with the early score. It may not have, been all that massive in the smaller scale of things, but I feel like that just, letting them know, we're going to be running at you. You better be ready. We're immediately fighting every chance we get. And I mean, Todi-chan just wasn't ready at all.
I mean, sometimes the team that is waiting in the lower bracket because they lost in the finals, they kind of fall asleep waiting for their game to happen. Todi-chan was in the lower bracket, going through it, being constantly in a game. They came into this set very hot. Frutella, I guess it took them a game to warm up, to get ready, but I mean, that was fast. That was powerful. Todi-chan got 1 push, putting 1 super clam into the basket. That gave the pity clam to Frutella that allowed them to KO. Even the push that Todi-chan got was bad for them. That's how dominant Frutella was in this game. Incredibly powerful. Now going into Rainmaker, Todi-chan needs to hold. Todi-chan needs to not let that happen again.
Yeah, and this is one of those maps, again, that can kind of snowball pretty bad. If you go 1, 2, even 3 down at an inopportune time, say, the other team already has that Rainmaker picked up, then you're in a lot of trouble. They can score 40, 50, 60 points just in a couple of seconds. And, then you're just kind of playing from just such a massive deficit. It can be incredibly difficult to come back from that. You got to make sure you play to stabilize. I really like the idea of having a lot of HP to kind of aid in that from Todi-chan. The 52 gal, the decapitator, and then you have obviously your standard anchor weapon, whether that is the sniper rider or if you bring Little back, you have the heavy edit. But looks like they're going to opt for that sniper rider for a little bit more. And I mean, we've already seen Frutella's opting for just all-out aggression with that double cooler and some pretty solid fighting weapons as well.
I mean, we need to talk about the Luna.
I didn't even notice that, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Todi-chan is bringing a Luna, and I mean, they need to change something. They need to get something that can deal damage, and on this map, Luna is dangerous, can do a lot, especially with the hammer that can pop the Rainmaker so fast right there. Frutella opening strong, but not able to get the checkpoint. That's going to be Todi-chan shutting them down, punishing them for overcommitting a little bit, which means Todi-chan are going to get the Rainmaker for free as it's their turn to go towards that checkpoint.
Yep, and I mean, they're already in a pretty solid spot. You know, this is a relatively safe area to be in until that crab tank is popped, and then it can get a little bit dicey. But, I mean, Kit Kat can kind of just dance around here, just waiting for the rest of the team to find an opening, and there it is. Just the space, not even the picks that you need. Just the space created by the rest of the team is going to give that first checkpoint break over to Todi-chan, gives them back the lead. And, I mean, they're already hunting for a little bit more with that Rainmaker. Punchy with the crab tank, though, is going to shut things down almost immediately. And the rest of Todi-chan's just going to have to run back to mid and kind of reset here.
That was a very nice push by Todi-chan, setting themselves in the lead, having the checkpoint broken is what you want to do at this stage of the game. That's the pressure on Frutella as Todi is still dancing around, keeping the fight so far into Frutella's spawn right there. Todi-chan lost a few too many players in there, but they had the time to respawn thanks to that aggro that they got, and now they're the ones leading the fight. Very nice trade with the backline, and I mean, right now Todi-chan are doing what they need to do to maintain the game in a state that favors them.
Yeah, I mean, it's going pretty well for them so far, just finding constant picks, trades, everything. That's 2 players down, almost a third as well. Kit Kat not able to clean up the shot, but Yu is rushing down to confirm that pick. Immediately finds one more from the jump in, but it's just Crowny left here on the Rainmaker, and I mean, everybody else is just getting ultra stamped. This is not an ideal situation to be in at all if you're Frutella. You end up eventually dropping that Rainmaker, but I mean, how much will that benefit you? You just gave them, you know, an extra couple of, you know, units or feet or points or whatever that they don't need to run that Rainmaker for. You know, they have the cooler backup, and now I guess you have some space, but your decaf is down as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now Todi-chan can be as patient as they want. They lost the Rainmaker, but as long as they can keep the position, they'll be happy with it. And here comes the hammer to get the Reaper for free, also getting a splat as well, and it's a wipeout on Frutella. Todi-chan are going to get 3 points as U-Snipe is running in with that Rainmaker, bringing the lead to 17, Sig.
Wow, that is a difficult lead to come back from. We were just talking earlier in this map about, you know, not wanting to go down 2, 3, 4 players, because that stuff like that can happen, and we just saw it. Todi able to find one as well, just stalling for as long as possible. Punchy's not able to find that pick. The splash, not enough damage. Eventually is able to find that trade, but it's just the decab and the Rainmaker left. Tri-Slosh is able to jump in after a little bit, but you're still really hurting for space, especially with the rest of Todi-chan already set up because of how much stalling happened. The decap goes in, looks for a melee, pops that big bubbler, is able to find one. Another player goes down on the other side. The hammer is shut down. Wait a minute, this could be the chance they're looking for that Rainmaker, but then they have to drop down 40 more points for this lead, Pat.
Yeah, I mean, the checkpoint is broken by Frutella. They only have 1 minute to get back into this game, and they need to respawn fast. They need to get back in fast as Todi-chan are already back on the attack. The Luna is stopped right now. The Tri-Slasher dancing around, able to get a lot of ground. What is happening? Frutella mounting their comeback, but not able to protect the Rainmaker from the snipes right there. Todi-chan holding as much as they can. 30 seconds left, Sig.
Oh, that's 3 players down, and another wipeout for Frutella. They're going to run that Rainmaker, get the lead. They're going to even KO it, Pat. And immediately, they've given themselves another game. You stole it from under the noses of Todi-chan, and that is exactly what you need to do. Just maintain, just stay collected, everything, maintain your position, and eventually, you know, somebody's going to get antsy. You just got to hope it's the other team and that you can punish accordingly.
That's Rainmaker for you. That's why we love to watch it. It's always possible to mount a comeback. All it takes is one team fight, giving you the wipeout, giving you the way in. You are never safe in a Rainmaker. And Frutella right there, reminding Todi-chan who won in the upper bracket. And now Todi-chan, back to the wall, need to win the next 2 games if they want to move forward. And given what Frutella has given us, it's going to be a rough one for Todi-chan.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be pretty tough. Now, they did give themselves that lifeline of that first game. You know, we know that they can take the games. They know they can take games. It's just a question of will they be able to, especially against if we see the Luna Blaster again. The Luna on. Wait, they had the Luna Blaster. Anyways, if I think they had the Luna Blaster. Especially on tower control and haggle, it's going to be incredibly difficult. You know, this is a map where it's just tough to break checkpoints in the first place. You know, you have to have just so much space created. You have to deny a lot of space from the other team, especially from those sniper raiders that can kind of poke from any which way and prevent the tower from, you know, scoring even more on those first and second checkpoints.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, that tower control it's one of the most played tower control map because of how hard it is to break this checkpoint, how much coordination you need to get a push going. If you don't coordinate both your defense and your attack, it's very hard to move out of mid on this map. The fact that it's a well-balanced map, that really you can go forward whenever you want at any time. Like, you need to well coordinate if you want to win on here. Now, the Gal is gone. It's back to double sword for Todi, as Frutella not really changing their comp, not really changing their strategy. And let's see how it goes.
So far, it's worked out pretty well. I mean, the only issue you can kind of see with Frutella's comp is just having consistent retake options. That's where Punchy's Crab Tank does a ton of heavy lifting, as well as the Decapitator just moving in to try and get a big bubbler going. But immediately, Todi-chan just set the pace again, and they're looking to score this first checkpoint just really quick. Already finding one onto that Sniper Rider is going to be huge, but the Tri-Slosh from behind is able to find 2 before getting eventually traded out. The Decapitator from Frutella's back in, but not before they get picked off immediately. And I mean, this is kind of what Todi-chan need. They need to just make it difficult for Frutella to get back in. They need to really punish that weakness of having the double cooler comp. And I mean, so far they've done a solid job on this game 4.
Yeah, I mean, Todi-chan already getting past the checkpoint. You were talking about how hard these checkpoints are to get, and you're right, but right now Todi-chan is making it look easy, almost reaching the second checkpoint. Frutella is scrambling simply to push them away. That was a very nice attack. Oh wait! That's double slap. Todi-chan can keep going forward. They're back in attack mode, and they have the Zipcaster ready. That should allow them to maintain a lot of aggro. Todi-chan not stopping.
And that Decapitator finds a pick onto the Tri-Slosher. That's one of the cooler options down. The Sniper Rider popped it just a couple of seconds earlier, so now Todi-chan's pacing is going to just be faster than Frutella. This is where Frutella can kind of hurt if you get them in a stagger here, but the Tri-Slosher is able to find 2, one on the Sniper Rider, one on the Stamper, and that's going to give a lot of leeway for them, but the not the Sniper Rider, the Decapitator is able to find a couple of them to continue this momentum, barreling down that third checkpoint. The Tri-Slosher's there yet again to stop things. But, I mean, Todi-chan still have just so much room to work with. Nobody has really given up control up top mid. The Tri-Slosher's trying, but, I mean, at most they're going to find 1. The Decap is able to find 2 more.
I mean, Todi-chan has taken so much control throughout the start of this game. We're about to reach the half of it, but I mean, that was 1 push. That game has been 1 push so far. Now the tower is back into mid. Frutella knows that they need to build momentum if they want to win this game, and right now that's what they're doing. They're touching the tower every once in a while, even if they're not moving it, touching it keeps them gives them more special. And now they are at the checkpoint, they are fighting in. Todi is able to win that fight. That is huge, but that is not enough to defend the first checkpoint. Frutella got that checkpoint, and now they have to be patient because they lost 3 players.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the issue sometimes. So those checkpoints can take a while to break, especially that first one. And so many things can go wrong in a game of Splatoon, especially when one of your players is just so far separated from the rest of the team, but you know who's not separated from the action? It's Punchy on this crab tank, finding a good amount of chip. Yu is not able to find that pick, able to trade out though. And Tony-chan still have a ton of control around the map. They don't have everything in mid, but they don't really need to. Again, it's just getting through that second checkpoint, often the hardest one to break if you are the attacking team. And I mean, there's the space that they needed immediately created by the 52 gal on the other side of the map, created by those two swords with the big bubbler, and they've gotten that tower back here, Pat.
I mean, Tony-chan very much in control of this map, very happy to push the tower again. And they know they don't need to take risks right now. They can be as patient as they want. They know all they need to do is maintain the state of the game for one more minute as Frutella. Like, he's scrambling to go in, and that double tactical is costing them because they are lacking a special to push forward. And it shows right now. Tony-chan are simply in control of mid.
Yeah, I mean, they have this full control of mid. You have to walk forwards if you're Frutella. You know, you can't rely on this crab tank constantly just getting you in. And I mean, on this right-hand side of the map, we see that Tri-Slosher and Decapitator looking for a fight, looking for some kind of space, but the splash wall is going to shut things down. Hugh is able to find the pick onto the Tri. The Decap moves with that big bubbler, but the tower is moving away. The tower is in Tony-chan's favor. Who is on it? Is it the Gal or is it the Decap? No, they just dropped off with 15 seconds left. Frutella need to get this push going. They've gotten a good bit of space. They've gotten the Snipe Rider as well, Pat.
Yeah, that's a delayed wipe for Frutella, and that first checkpoint right now is a very good thing for them. They can go straight to the second one as a Toddy. All they need to do is defend and like they need to put a few bombs on the tower, but the tower has a bubbler on it right now. They just need one more point for the second checkpoint, but it's over. Tony-chan gets the wipeout, very calm in their defense, knowing that they had so much of a lead. They could simply play as solid as they could and win the game.
Yeah, very strong work. Again, stalwart defense and secure defense. You know, you don't need to kind of panic too much, even if even if the other team are able to kind of get almost all the way through that second checkpoint. It is still just tough to break. You have to dance around a lot of different things. And I mean, you always have that option of just sending one of your three aggro players, one of your three front lines of the Gal, the Snipe Rider, or the Stamper to just drop behind like we saw Toady did and find two players.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen so much between these two teams right now. There's only one game left to decide who is going to go to grand finals. That's going to be back to Splat Zones, this time on Barnacle and Dime. Frutella and Tony-chan, I mean, they've been back and forth. They've traded blows. They've taken the lead. They've given the lead. Right now, I mean, we've had very much games where one team takes control and simply plays better. And which team will be able to get the momentum? Which team will be able to really get control of the map early? We don't know, but we are about to. Let's see how it goes. No change in terms of comps. It's going to be decided by the players.
Now, in terms of control and generally being able to shape the map how you want to force people to go places, I do really like Frutella's comp, but I mean, Toady sure doesn't. Are able to find one pick onto that Tri-Slosher, pushes everybody all the way back with the rest of the team, and Tony-chan already have a ton of space and are in a scoring spot, down 20 points gone already here, Pat.
Yeah, and that's quite the opening. U-Snipe able to get a big splat, make that too, but both specials punished right there by Tony-chan and U-Snipe. And it's not stopping. All more splats are coming. Frutella cannot move forward without getting splatted. That crab gets punished again. Ooh, that has to hurt.
Oh, I mean, if you're Punchy, you are definitely not happy with how things have unfolded the past 30 seconds. You can't get a crab up. These swords and this gal are just unstoppable. With 20 points left, they're looking to end things right here and now, just vanquishing the team that brought them down to the loser's bracket. But already a big bubbler up on the zone for Tella. Still have a breath of life. They have that zone control. The Tri-Sloshers moving forwards, not able to find that pick onto the Snipe Rider, but now they have another chance here. Oh, and with another pick onto Toady, things could get pretty dicey.
Oh yeah, Frutella has the tools to stay where they are, to hold their ground, and now they need to make these tools work. As Toady-chan have the counter to that right now, trying to use it as best as they can. They're already able to get control over the plat, and they are moving on to the zone. And with another splat, I mean, I guess they will apply penalty and force Frutella to move back right now. The Tri-Slosher is kind of alone on the zone, able to get some ground. And we're back to a fight for mid. Frutella needs to be able to push in, and for that they need their specials, and they need them fast.
Well, I mean, they got the big bubbler pretty quick, and there's another pick onto you. This Decapitator is just doing so much work all across the zone, forcing a big bubbler pop from Toady-chan all the way back on their ramp. Not even like in a spot to contest a ton of space. The Tri-Slosher finds a good bit of chip damage, but Yu is in a pretty solid spot before the Decapitator comes back in, finds 2 more, and there's another wipeout. Frutella have 30 points remaining, 10 from a lead and 30 from a KO. This could be it here, Pat.
That is looking pretty dire for Toady-chan. The lead is going to swap, and Toady-chan doesn't have much time. It is so hard to improvise a push on this map, but the bubbler is next to the zone. 2 players down. Can Toady-chan stay alive? Can they paint that zone? The tournament is on the line. They're able to stay alive right there, but they lost 2 players, and Frutella is coming back full force, already retaking control. The Zipcaster is going to get a trade, and that's a nice trade. 3 down on Frutella. Toady-chan will retake the zone with just 2 minutes left in the game. It is certainly not over.
No, not at all. And I mean, this is just another chance for Toady-chan here. They have the Killer Whale, they have the big bubbler, and there's the Tactical that was just popped. How are they going to use these? Looks like they're popping the 2 specials just to deal with this crab tank, kind of deal with the front line. But 2 players of Frutella are looking on this right-hand side. They find a pick on the Toady. They're looking for just a little bit more. It's only you left on the zone. They're able to find 1 on the melee into the big bubbler, but Punchy is right there to find the trade. The Sniper Rider ends up dropping, and it's just Toady off from the jump in. And Frutella, they still have control of this zone. They are not done yet.
Yeah, 1 minute left. Frutella has their control and the numbers advantage right now. Very happy to paint around, to wait for the mistake from Toady. If Frutella can hold that next push, they would get the KO, but Toady already has the bubbler activated in the right position to allow them to go in. Oh, wait! Wait! The splat's coming in! Frutella knows it's done. They are going to grand finals.
Wow. What a hero play, just back to back to back from the Decapitator, but also just from everybody on Frutella in that last game. It was dire. You know, that first push went down to 20 points, and I was sitting here thinking, oh, it's over. Toady-chan, surely they won't let Frutella back in. But we turn around 5 seconds later, and it's just a full wipeout, and the Decapitator is able to just find 2 picks every single time without fail. Really pulling Frutella in at the end and bringing them back for their rematch in Grand Finals.
It's Splatoon for you. It's a game that rewards speed, that rewards risk, and we see it in front of us. So many risks were taken in all of this set, and in the end we get an incredible show. Frutella mounting a crazy comeback and being able to simply stay on the zone after that, not letting Toady-chan really take back that control that Toady-chan was able to play off so well throughout this lower bracket finals. But now Sig, we only have 2 teams left to watch. It's going to be Grigri against Frutella. Frutella, the only team that was able to get a game off of Grigri. So we'll see how they're able to do right after this break.
Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Where you look, where you touch, where you feel, yeah. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Me and you. Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know. Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about me and you? Can we talk about the truth? I wanna know, I wanna know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to your grand finals of the Oktofest.
You can do it! Yes!
One day, we got it! Oktofest 2025 Qualifier. I'm Sigdakari, joining me here is Pat, and we've got a banger of a grand finals. We've got Grigri versus Frutella, and we saw this shake out in winners finals. Pat, how'd that go?
In winners finals, it was a 3-1 for Grigri, and Frutella managed to snatch a game from them on tower control, really like getting that crazy comeback and being able to really take it. And this is where we are very much. Grigri, we can't lie to you, they're favored to win this. They're like the team we expect to win this tournament. And Frutella is the team we expect to be able to take games off of them. And they've done that in winners bracket. Can they do it again? Can they do it twice? Can they do it 3 times? They need to do it 6 times if they want to win this grand finals. But they've shown they can do it once. And that's, just do it again right there. But let's see how these 2 teams will do. No surprise in terms of the compositions between these 2 teams. And let's start with the game.
Yeah, no surprises at all. 2 players already going down on the side of Frutella. Folty just running forwards with Gray on the support with the burst bombs is going to find 2. Make that a 3rd with Phoenix dropping there eventually. As Grigri just take full control of the zone. Gray ends up going down, but able to pick up that tacticaler. They just have full control of the game. The question is, how much will Punch's Crab Tank be able to get the rest of the team back in? Already finding one of the Yosha. Looks pretty good so far.
Ooh. Yeah, Frutella right now fighting their way back forward. They were able to get a few splats, but they're not able to get the position. Grigri respawning in time. They're all back to defending. That Booyah Bomb is giving them a lot of space. Oh, but S-Blast fell down, but Frutella still needs to find a way in. Grigri, even with a numbers disadvantage, they keep control of the zones.
Oh, I mean, this has just been an incredibly strong hold so far from Grigri, not really letting anything up, even able to shred that big bubbler before any jumps can get to it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've just been completely dominant throughout this entire first game, and that's going to keep going as the Crab Tank gets shut down immediately. Volti finds another pick with the trade with 10 points left. They're looking for a KO. They're just trying to feed the zone on the side of Frutella, but nothing is working for them. They're not even able to set foot in it, and Grigri take the first one.
Okay, that's how it goes, I guess. Grigri. I mean, they lost a few players. They at some point where they had 2 players down. At some point, Frutella was able to get their specials in. It did not matter at all. Grigri kept control of top mid. They had Yoshel on top mid and won. And with Yoshel on top mid, Grigri won. That's it. That was the game.
I mean, that's kind of the name of the game. Can you get your Snipe Rider just set up in a place where they can kind of just have full control of the options of the other team? Umami is one of those maps where you just set up top mid and you can kind of look any which way and you'll be able to shut just about any kind of approach option down for the other team. And getting Yoshel there was vital. But I want to highlight Volti just constantly going in with that carbon roller, acting as almost as funny as it sounds, almost like a Tetra or a Wiper likes to do, just constantly running in, picking those fights, and just having the rest of the team follow up. Just really good execution. I want to see how much further they can go with that on tower control and Inkblot.
Yeah, I mean, Volti is one of the most dangerous players in the West. Incredibly aggressive with that carbon, and even the trades that they get are good for the team, because they, like Frutella, as we were talking about, they're really depending on these Crab Tanks to take control of the map. And Volti is waiting to the side, ready to go in, and already getting a splat on the Decavitator, and now eyeing that backline. Is going to move back, but right there, Grigri with less players are taking the tower still because they know they can.
I mean, they were able to just create so much space where the tower was going that they didn't have to worry as much about where it already was, and they kind of just punished Frutella for being just a touch out of position there. Now Gray is going to be able to find a trade. There's another one. There's Trizuka coming out from Volti, but she got picked off. Now Punchy with this Crab Tank is going to be just in charge of gathering kind of the space and gaining momentum for Frutella here, but it's not working out so great as 2 players end up dropping here. Both the players that were trying to play around that Crab Tank, and Volti's trying to rush down Punchy. Grigri still have a good amount of control mid, and they're able to grab that tower and move it past 95 points.
94 is the lead right now. We're a minute and a half into the game, and these teams are being patient, waiting for a better opportunity to take control of the tower, to push in. Yoshel is now on the tower, but everybody from Frutella is there to defend. There will not be a first checkpoint yet. Volti is called out, and absolutely... Okay, Volti doesn't care. He's going to get 2 splats! Ah, Volti, how are you doing that?
Volti is just a monster when it comes to playing Carbon Roller. I mean, you look at just about anybody else in the community, they're not able to kind of pull that stuff off. But Volti, you would bet that it's gonna happen. And Grigri already have that first checkpoint taken care of. Gray and Volti are both sharking out this right side platform as Yeti's looking for a little bit of space up in that bunker bats area. The Booyah Bomb is just going to kind of reinforce that as Yeti ends up going down here though. And Grigri are on that second checkpoint. 55 points left. They are a player down, but I mean they're 2 checks more than Frutella are right now.
And Grigri pushing in, getting more And more 2 down on Frutella still. And look at that, Groovy are not on the tower, they're simply keeping it air. They're very patient, even when they are so aggressive. They're maintaining their patience, they're maintaining their composure. They know that they have all the time in the world to get that push. As I said, that Frutella is able to get back a lot of control. Yoshel not able to jump out will cost a bit to Grigri, as Frutella is back into mid. But now Frutella, they need to win that next fight if they want to be able to push the tower, but they get punished.
That is a big pick for Volti. You're able to shut down a lot of the momentum. There's another one on the Phoenix. The Trizuka goes hunting. Not quite able to find anything just yet, but Grigri are able to find Punchy, and there goes Kit Kat. They're looking for just a little bit more. They're down to 26. They want that KO. With 2 players up in bats, though, Frutella have a pretty solid foothold for this defense. How are Grigri going to be able to deal with the Tri-Slush? The answer is they just deal with everybody else first, as Gray goes down to the try, but Volti's again there for the trade. They're on that 3rd checkpoint, Pat, and they are hunting. They're hungry for blood.
The game has been on the same side of the map since the start, and now Frutella able to push Grigri away, but once again, getting back to mid is not enough. You have to be able to move forward right now. Grigri is ready for the next fight, and it's 2v2 right now. The winner of this next 2v2 will get momentum, will get the way in, but Gray to the side is going to be called as the... everybody else is back into position to defend now.
Volti is back up, finds one on the Punchy, able to trade out. I mean, another thing with Volti has been just these trades with the Carbon Roller, just able to rotate so quickly, even with the Ninja Squid, is constantly just finding these ways in. As I say that, Gray goes down, make that a 2nd player, as well as the Crab Tank is ends up dropping a couple of players. It gets picked off by the Zuka, and Volti finds another one on top. This Carbon is just unstoppable.
And right now the Carbon is fighting in the bubbler, able to get the extra splat. There's 10 seconds left, and Frutella hasn't reached the 1st checkpoint now. They have the Tri-Slush on there, trying for the last second Hail Mary, but it's going to be rough. Grigri is there to punish everything. And that's game number 2. No, Punchy, I'm sorry. Grigri is going to take it as well. That's 2-0 for them. Frutella now facing the end of this tournament.
Now their backs are truly up against the wall. You need to find 3 games in a row and 3 games after that to get your ticket to Oktofest, or at least get the discount on it. And I mean, this is just absurd from Grigri. This team is just full of just absolute titans of Europe here. And I really don't know. I don't have any notes for how Frutella can kind of stop them right now.
Here's the thing, Frutella is relying a lot on their Crab Tank to move forward. Because a Bubbler and 2 Tacticoolers can help you in a push. But they cannot create that push. Or the Crab Tank can. The Crab Tank is very important to that. So Punchy needs to be protected at all costs. Punchy is very much like the part of the team that is so important, because Frutella needs to rely on it to work. And not only they need to allow Punchy to survive long enough to get the crab, then they need that crab to be in the best possible spot to get the maximum value from it, because that's their entry tool. And Grigri, they know that. They know that all they need to do is find Punchy and kill him. And all the Tacticoolers in the world are not enough. If Punchy is constantly sent back to spawn at some point, the crabs will not work. And we've seen Volti being able to, oh, there's a crab. I don't care. I'm still going to sneak up on you and splat you from behind. Your crab is not going to help you with that. So Frutella needs to have paint, needs to have all the tools to stop that splat from happening. If they do so, then if they're able to do all of that, then they can play on an equal footing with Grigri. And then there's the rest of the job to be done, which they know how to do, but it's still going to be hard from then on.
Yeah, I mean, Punchy just has not been able to set up, whether it's Volty or Gray, just there's no safe haven for these crab tanks. Now, granted, we're going on to Museum on Clam Blitz, so it's going to be much easier for Punchy to get set up, especially in these really, really solid spots. I think that's something that Fertel are going to have to use to their advantage, really, really effectively, just gather some momentum as well, try and stop, especially this Carbon Roller from really, causing too much damage. And already, I mean, Yeti's got the crab tank in a much better spot positionally, able to find a lot of space, get Volty in onto the other crab tank, finds 2 picks before eventually going down. And again, I mean, same old song and dance here. Grigri have full control of the map.
Here comes the answer by Frutella. Frutella able to win that team fight in the end. And now they have the Super Clam. They're in the position, but the defense by Yoshel. Yoshel on that snipe is able to solidify everything. And Frutella is kind of going to falter on the platform. They will kinda die one after the other and let Grigri get back into it. That was the first minute, and we have both teams getting back to a fight for mid, so pretty even for now.
Yeah, so far the crab tank as well being used to make a little bit more space. Finds actually the pick onto the Snipe Rider of Grigri. So now Fertel have a lot of room to work with, as well as just Gray left. And there's the splats. It's Yoshel, though, who's able to find a couple more Volty on that Carbon Roller yet again, just doing damage, running forwards, and trying to find as many picks as possible. And there go 2 members of Fertella. They're still not able to score here, Pat. And it has just been so difficult then for just to get anything going past that spinner on Grigri's spawn.
Yeah, I mean, pushing on this map mode is very much a 2-step process. First, you take control of mid, you get clams, and you get ready to go in. And then there's the ordeal of getting under the basket, establishing yourself. You don't want to simply open the basket and get splatted. You want to take control of that spinner, of that area. And right now, Grigri are doing exactly that. That's 3 down onto Fertella. Grigri has the clams to open. Wait, they only have a super clam to open. They don't have any more clam. That's only going to be 20 points for now. Can they get more? The crab tank is deployed, but I mean, nice defense by Frutella right there. That's only going to be 20 points.
Yeah, really, really good pick. Great noticing that Voltu is really the only player outside Yoshel that had claims to score. And I mean, Frutella was able to get that pick on her really quickly. However, Grigri do have another power claim at the ready, and they have claims this time. So the score is going to be dropping just, ever so slowly until Frutella can kind of regain control of mid. It looks like Gray's looking for a couple more from the side. The cover from the Trizuka is going to be enough to drop the score down to, I believe, 37 points. Now that is a hefty lead, especially with 2 minutes left here.
Yeah, I mean, Gregory showed us the power of taking control of that spinner, of that basket area. They didn't have the clams, it didn't matter. They had the control, that gave them the time to go back for more clams to make another super clam. And now they have a monster lead. Frutella, they have 2 super clams ready, but these 2 super clams, they're like targets on their backs right now. They need to put them in the basket fast, but it's not gonna happen yet, Sig.
No, not at all, as Volty is able to find another couple of picks. Looking for one more on the Punchy, he's able to get it. You try and hide on the wall. No, the Carbon Roller with that vertical flick is going to be able to clean things up. And yet again, I mean, they're just looking for more space. Yeti moves in to score that clam. Volty's able to find another pick, just trade things out. And I mean, no points were actually ended up scored, just a big dent in the penalty for a future opportunity, especially if Gray finds 1 pick onto the Snipe Rider. There it goes. Maybe one more with the try. No, a little bit too much to ask, as that try with the fall off is going to clean up that pick there. Now Volty, on the other hand, is able to find one before getting traded.
That's a trade, but trades are good for Frutella, for Gregory right now. For Gregory, all they need to do is maintain the status quo, as Frutella are scrambling to keep their super clams alive, simply to keep the hole alive. as Grigri are trying to push in Phoenix using the bubbler in a defensive position, but there's a Booyah Bomb in that bubbler, 20 seconds left, and it's still Grigri very much in control of the map. Gray is moving in with that blaster, maintaining the fight so far away from their basket. Futela are in mid, but they need to go through, and they only have 2 players left.
Oh, they don't have all that much to work with. Punchy's able to find one, but again, just like a Hydro, 2 more players are there to take Gray's place. Now it's just a question of, can we sneak this power cleanse in? It's just the Snipe Fighter left. Gray's there to shut it down. The jumps in aren't going to be enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, Grigri, after just a couple more seconds, unless Phoenix? No, Phoenix is just chilling. Grigri are going to win the qualifier. They get, and it's pretty safe to assume we'll see them at Oktofest.
Yeah, we'll see them, and you know that every of the top teams will prepare for Grigri. We'll review this tournament and look at everything, try to find a flow in their game. But Grigri right there, so strong, so powerful, so fast, on top of everything, really took control of this set, took control of this tournament, only dropping 1 single game to Frutella earlier. That's quite a statement before the LAN, Sig.
Oh yeah. If I'm any of these teams that aren't Grigri, I'm like, oh dear, this is going to be a tough one. Just trying to make it as far as possible in the Oktofest. There's no really way to put how this tournament other than just sheer dominance from Grigri, like you said. But I mean, just looking at a couple of these other teams, I think they still have a couple of things to worry about. Frutella, as always, can rise to that occasion, like we saw in SWS a couple months ago, and then Todi-chan is just behind them too. And I mean, that's not even mentioning some of the other teams here. I'm very curious to see how it's going to shake out at Oktofest.
Yeah, anything can happen when you reach the LAN. And I'm so glad I get to go to Oktofest, meet so many of my friends from the German scene and from all of Europe. I can't wait. It's coming soon. And if you know me, please come say hi to me when we get to Cologne. I am really very eager to meet all of you. So yeah, can't wait for that. But for now, it's going to be Grigri getting a half price for their tickets to the LAN. And I mean, well-deserved half price, very much dominating that qualifier.
Oh, absolutely. That's as close to just domination as you can get for Splatoon. But with that being said, that's going to do it from us. So before we head out here, Pat, where can the lovely people of Splatoon find you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at that address that's on your screen. If you remove the underscores, you can find me on Blue Sky as well, where I talk a little bit more. Of course, you can always find me here at Dapple Productions. And again, you'll be able to find me at Oktofest, where I'm so eager to be. And Sig, where can we find you?
You can find me just about anywhere the Splatoon community hangs out, whether that's Blue Sky or Discord or Twitter or Twitch or any of that, at Sigdakari, like you see at the bottom of your screen right there. And with that being said, that is a wrap from us here at Dapple Productions. Huge shout out to the TOs for putting this on. Huge shout out to CKK, our streamer, helping us through thick and thin, and we will see y'all next time.